Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own Pubg Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast-paced and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store, and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan
true challengers. We also got mix of teams that are invited directly into this competition here. So we got lots of different regions now all combined into one. So it used to be that all of these will be playing in their own individual
Hold on,
parts.
Victor. Let me play a game with you.
Uh-huh.
You know what a ventriloquist is?
Uh-huh.
Someone that talks but doesn't really talk.
Right.
I've been performing ventriloquism for the past 30 seconds. But now I'm back.
Interesting.
Apparently, people can't hear me.
Oh no.
But I'm back.
Welcome back then, Husky.
Welcome back. Thank you very much.
Welcome
But yes,
back.
very, very interesting.
Yeah,
We had.
so I guess we can just continue on from here then.
We can.
Yeah, so...
So I was the dummy for a while. So you were performing ventriloquist. I was the dummy.
Mhm.
So you were able to make my voice. You were able to transmit my voice as well. I think that is a very impressive skill. Very impressive skills.
Indeed it is. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, all of the best of Asia when it comes to PUBG PC, and we were going to be doing our very best in these 3 days here to bring you guys all of the action involved. So again, this is not only the first day of the group stage, we also got tomorrow where you're going to be seeing groups B and C, groups A and C fight against each other, and then we have groups B and C fighting on day number 3. And after that, we even have still more challenges ahead, because the teams that didn't make it to the grand finals from there will be making their way to the last chance qualifiers, where we find another 8 to join them in the grand finals.
And I think the most interesting part is that the teams only get to play 10 rounds, right? So after 10 rounds, you have to kind of see where you land on the end of the standing. Like, for example, for Group A, you basically finish your group stage by the end of tomorrow. And afterwards, it really comes down to how the other teams perform and whether you make it the top 8. And I think it's a very tall task for a lot of these players. You gotta be on your A game. There's not much rounds for you to kind of burn through and make those mistakes. And last chance qualifiers isn't easy as well. It's a big pool of teams.
Again, like a lot of these teams, you rarely actually get to compete with each other unless they're
yeah.
in international tournaments, you know. And to that point, like a lot of these teams had their first taste really of this new format of competition here during the global series itself. So here you guys can see on your screens right now the schedule that is going to be running throughout the month of May. So we're here on the 17th of May on Wednesday here to play the groups A and B for day 1 of the group stage. Then of course, like I mentioned, we have group A and C coming in day number 2, and groups B and C coming in day 3. That's on Friday. Then on the weekend, that is the last chance qualifier stage. So there's going to be 2 days. It's going to be an absolute royal rumble going on over there, because only 8 slots remain to get into the grand finals, which will be happening from the 24th until the 28th of May.
And the Grand Slam, right? The Super Bowl, 5 days of this grand finals action. But to get there is a very arduous journey. You either play 10 good rounds, or you risk this last chance qualifiers and not even making it. So I think, we had some of the teams that are coming in today, I think, feeling a lot more confident. You look at the performance for the past few months, I think some teams are definitely slated to qualify more than others, but this is going to be the event format. Victor did go through it, briefly, but this is the extensive part, right? We have, 24 groups split into 24 teams split into 3 different groups, Group A, B, and C. So for today, we get to see Group A take on Group B. Tomorrow will be A against C, and of course, on the day after that is B against C. Top 8 from all these teams will immediately qualify for the grand finals, whereas the bottom 16, you go to last chance qualifiers, where the top 8 from that qualifies for the grand finals. So we have 16 teams playing next week, but you want to be the first 8 to make it through.
Yeah, so effectively, a good performance during this group stage means you're going to have a lot more time really to not only recce the other teams, but also to prepare for the grand finals. Whereas like, if you can't make it through the group stage itself, you're going to have to fight even harder, not just through the last chance qualifiers, but just basically being in the bottom 8, not say bottom 8, but like the next 8 to only get to the grand finals, and you only have like less than a week of turnaround time by then, right? So yeah, I think every one of these teams here are raring to, just get that top 8 straight away, because that's going to be a huge statement, especially for the really strong teams from that are in this region.
Yeah, it even reminds me of a bit of the upper-lower bracket advantage, right, in other more traditional formats. So in this case, I think you want to, again, be the top 8 to make it through. LCQ, you have that 2 days. Again, it's another 10 rounds, right? So a lot is at stake. But, stakes are defined by point system, and this is the point system that we have. Winner with a chicken dinner only gives you 10 points, EQ gives you 1, and that's pretty much it. If you are 7th and 8th, you only get 1 point, and if you're 9th place onwards all the way down to 16, that's 0 points.
Yeah, so very much a very good champion format as well, because getting that chicken dinner means that you're already 4 points ahead of the nearest team to you in terms of placement. And of course, this is being run under the new super rules for 2023. So not only like these points have been slightly like tweaked, but we also got a slight tweak as well when it comes to the map pool. We've got Tego and Vikendi now inside the esports map pool from this season onwards. And also this is the first tournament actually that where we're going to be running, rather first official tournament. Yeah, where we're going to be running Tego as part of the competitive pool. So it's really going to be exciting to see how the teams now will be adapting to this brand new format.
Yeah, and I think it's something that's really needed for the competitive scene. We've seen Miramar, Erangel across so many years, right? We have this new element. I think what Pubg, what Kraken has done, the evolution of the game. Now you have easier ways to eliminate the factors of RNG to make it more within the control of these teams. I think you add that little bit of competition to it. Of course, the teams are also fighting for a prize pool, $20,000 for first place. And you finish second, that's $15,000, $8,000 for third place, and all the way down to $1,000 for 17th to 32nd.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money on the line here. I mean, $20,000, mind you, for whoever gets in that first place. But there's still plenty of prizes to be won by everyone else as well. But I guarantee most of the teams just looking at that $20,000 number and going like, yeah, I'm going to win this one just for it.
I mean, no one would look at 1,000 and be like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
I don't know. Maybe your expectations might be low.
Yeah, sure, but I always see in this in a way where if you are on this stage already, you are kind of like the top 24 teams, right? So shoot for the stars. You might land on the moon. That's what they need to go for. I mean, everyone gets a piece of the pie. It really boils down to how big that piece is.
Exactly. So that's all the stakes for you guys to keep track of. This is what every single team is aiming for here. I mean, not just the fact of being able to get into the grand finals, but there's money even on the line here. Ladies and gentlemen, for this group stage. So, out of the 24 teams that are going to be competing here, has there been any kind of like standout teams that you want to kind of like keep an eye on in this competition?
I think I definitely am keeping an eye out for ArkAngel Predator. They're not going to be playing today, which is a bit unfortunate because I was very excited to see these guys play. Representatives from the Philippines, very, very experienced players. My favorite player, Alvinbot, is playing on that team still. But aside from that, I think when we come into today between Group A and Group B, I think Daytrade is going to take a lot of the spotlight, right? It seems to be one of the strongest teams we have right now. They have, I think, CERBERUS also very consistent performance through and throughout, coming in from Vietnam. The question is, can they keep that consistency, right? You have a very good first big quarter of the year where CERBERUS has performed, had decent finishes. But now when you come into this under the new Super Rule, when you come into the Summer Cup, that's where you need to really show that prowess. Like if they can't push it forward, then questions would be asked. So you have these both teams playing also. Group A, you have Daytrade, CERBERUS is going to be in Group B.
Yeah, so this is the two groups that we'll be playing for day one here. So representing all these different regions here, we got teams from teams from Thailand like Daytrade, QC. We also have eArena, as well as Attack All Around. These guys actually got through due to a fan vote as well. So it's great to see that the supporters are actually having their
two members. As Impact, he is also in the red. Gets down by 777. Not sure if Tay can reach him in time though. Gotta win this long range fight. Actually, sees 7. Orlando's shot the SLR in the hand. I think he has to attack on the shoulder, but he is running out of time.
Yeah, they need to pressure them immediately. They need to try to get onto their position here. And with Impact already down, Tay9 is going to go ahead and try to go for the revive here, just giving them a little bit of lull. The blue zone hasn't quite squeezed them yet. There's still a little bit of time left, 30 seconds in fact. So the Expendables are now trying to see if they can reposition. We got Duck Juice hanging onto the back line here. In the meantime, though, eArena's KM99 still trying to spot this fight that's going on between Daytrade and number 1 here. Haven't quite drawn much blood themselves. Though I only see 3 members of eArena here. Okay, they're still having a full stack at the moment. Only managed to get that 1 kill. But eArena still putting some shots onto Daytrade. Just putting some pressure onto them. 1 is still locked up in the fight with number 1.
And we're quickly approaching phase number 4 as well, right? It's less than a minute until that circle is going to close out to the southern side a little bit. Once more teams on the northern end, they're going to have a slightly better time. It's a more spread out distribution of Team CERBERUS now, putting a lot of pressure onto their opponents. On that eastern side, NGE getting down as Dukmi does get the knock. They will secure also CERBERUS. Headway, NGE getting sniped. Who even steals that one away from CERBERUS, but they do have 3 kills already, and that does expose a little bit of that info over the CERBERUS that there's a 3rd team around, and NGE ends up getting wiped out by AAA instead. CERBERUS, they did lose Haisaki somewhere down the road, and now they're the ones getting pressured.
Jan Kuwab with the double there, finishing off of the rest of new generation esports. So that's 16 plays for them, and on call now, just pressuring onto Baba Goose here on Exo Clan. He's using low, he's trying to hide behind a tree. So far, he's been able to avoid damage until that point when Nando finally puts an end to his run.
And Trick also helping him. When one call continues this run, you have Daytrade in front of them. Number 1 is also nearby. This could be a 4-way fight. SST on the eastern side. And unfortunately, they do have to run up a hill, and the vehicle's not looking too good. Already partially smoking as Daytrade has put themselves in a pretty solid position to just wash over all these angles. You have 2 members of SST, and as Flash gets knocked down, DST also joins in. Deadly Strike wants to make themselves known, and Daytrade, their members are pretty much spread out. So now Nurin, he's going to have his attention fixated on where Flash was. That might open him up to SST, who has 2 members on the flank. With
so many enemies around, I think Daytrade is going to have to do with just grouping together right now. But we do see Belmov attempting to go for the revive on Flash. It's a bit risky right now, and Daytrade might be spreading themselves a little bit thin. They need all hands on deck right now to keep spotting over the horizon here, because this circle is getting crowded and crowded by the minute here. So Flash still going to be caught up here by Belmov. Daytrade in the meantime, again, just scanning those horizons, trying to spot any movements here. We see one call already going to try to make a move here. PMA is also joined into the field here as well, just over the horizon. But right now, with on call already getting themselves set up on this side of the mountain here, there's plenty of cover for them to use. Enter 436 now, also putting some shots here, spotting PMA on the other side there. They are trying their best here to get a good base of fire, but again, there's just outside of that ring of the circle. They need to try to get some of these eliminations done.
And there's smoke being thrown out as well from one call, just trying to break that line of sight, but you have the members of Daytrade very spread out. Seymour is going to see Puchos. This could be a crucial shot, but he's going to hold off on that info for now. Join on with the rest of one call. It is an inevitability. They got to push through Daytrade, and this is a tall task because number 1 is also, again, around this area. SST present as well, and Daytrade holds a very crucial checkpoint. Look at them just flashed out across that area, and now they get to really guard the circle.
Yep, it's fortunate for them that the circle landed on top, so they can still hold position somewhat, and we still have Flash inside the building there, so there could be a base for them to return to. But gunfire is being spread all around. eArena, as well as number 1 and on one call, are all stuck just on the outside there with the blue zones on their back. And So they're getting ganked very heavily here by Daytrade. So this is not going to be an easy way for them to get into this next circle. QConfirm in the meantime, a little bit spread out. We're also spending a bit of smoke grenades right now, trying to flush out Enter Force 36, and actually starting to get XP out. And trading kills right away here. QConfirm says Earth is going to try to get the spray down to try to take out SK1, but he still is able to slip away there while his teammate is still hugging on the ground right now. Frag ready going to be sent down to the shack. Is that going to be enough to stop the XK1? XK1 says oh, and takes them out with one fell swoop there. So actually that was Insight in the meantime who managed to get the double kill there with a grenade, but Zapalui is still alive right now, still keeping the pressure onto Enter Force 36. Another grenade there is going to be ending X-Key's 31's life.
Yeah, and even got the headshot onto K. Starlo also helping out. QC on the other end also getting pressured by E36. These guys, big nade from Dayvado. That is exactly what E36 is looking for. You gotta get rid of the members of QC holding that open ground. UV able to find some, not able to find some sort of shots. Meanwhile, QC continues to pressure onto E36 with Zapalui on the ground. You only have 2 more members left. Opons is gonna kind of set up the shoes as well. Barricade himself out in the open. Not much protection to work with. Deva, he's down 3 HP. Barely holding on. He's gonna start bandaging himself up. QC looking for the wipe. SST ends up getting destroyed, and you even have Redsea basically barbecued by eArena. Nandu J also on the floor as he gets sniped from afar. And it's just kills and knocks happening. They even flying through Trick. They would have barely avoid that, but one call, they're down to just one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very tricky spot there for Trick because now the blue zone is starting to crowd around him. He's going to be forced to get out of this dude here, but he hasn't found the pickup that he's looking for here. Nevertheless, only 2 members of the game may still remain, but because Daytrade is right now pressuring them from behind, breathing down their throats right now, so they have more problems here than just the one member of one call there, which is Trick. So now they're going to be forced to turn around here and try to fight against Daytraders who decided to push up onto them. The Expendables in the meantime now, Doug, Juice, and Tanvu setting up a good line of smoke here. In this battle against AA. They've already gotten down to 3 of the members already, so only 1 member still remain from the attack all-around team. And now grenades are being sent out while they're trying to bring the revive in. That grenade almost meets its mark there. They just need to find it on a Quizza. They will find it as well. Attack all-around out in 8th place.
I believe that wasn't secured by TE. It was actually stolen away by Deadly Strike. So they got a couple of free kill points off of all the hard work that by the Expendables. As Zapaloi does perish to the blue, and now you kind of see the rest of the game kind of fleshed out a bit. UV having the center of the circle. They basically have full control of the circle right now.
Yeah, we got the Deadly Strike as well as the Expendables now fighting each other on the eastern side. And still mostly a full stack there, but then the Deadly Strike already has lost 1. But a very even fight nevertheless though, but with them already moving up with the smokes as well, that's putting a tremendous amount of pressure here onto Deadly Strike. Can they hold on for dear life? Can they find them actually? That's the first question. No, they could not! The Expendables already getting another kill there and another one there to finish off the rest of Deadly Strike. They're out in 6th place.
Yeah, and the Expendables only losing 1 member so far, but 5 kills in the hand. eArena also tearing it up, basically wiping the floor with PMA. Top 4 teams, and look at the amount of players alive, right? UV, they have the full squad, but one of them is down. So T is the only team right now that doesn't have a full team. eArena, if they can get rid of UV, they're gonna get full control of the circle. Very scary thought, but eArena so far, they're gonna split up in this 2-2 formation and try to look for a pincer. Daytrade also finding a compound right beside UV. This could be a deadly 3-way fight.
Exactly. Daytrade has already taken control of the building in the center of this circle here, so that will be the base from which it will try to build this next game for themselves. eArena is now repositioning rapidly to try to regroup now, and that's been spotted by UV's Smell at the moment. So he's trying to stop them in their tracks and actually send a few shots, warning shots nevertheless, to stop their car from being able to join up with the rest of their team. But right now, things are going to a bit of a standstill here. I mean, Daytrade will be no doubt in the safest spot on the circle right now. eArena, with that 1 man down, are going to have to struggle a little bit to try to get themselves back together again. And while we're talking about all this, the Expendables are already starting to make a move right now over these dudes here, hopefully to get the jump onto Daytrade here, because it seems like they're close enough to could almost smell them.
Yeah, Daytrade can even keep TE in check if they want to, right? TE, they are struggling to get it. Norris, decent damage. But also getting pressure from afar. But the members of UV and TE, both of them working together. And the Molotov even fries Belmov. So suddenly Daytrade having two of the members on the ground. Puchu, as you can see, driving towards the team. Gotta go for the save, but Dapkus is gonna make sure that does not happen. TE is doing it in the clutch moments. The members of Daytrade are all falling like flies, and suddenly they're just down to one member. And his flash is a decent compound to work with, but it's not gonna last for long. This high ground is not going to be in his favor, but flash! Woo! What a shot! The M24 just completely shatters the helmet of Sizzy. But the work is not done just yet. No confirmed kills means that Daytrade are still in danger. Gotta deal with TE also. The circle doesn't favor him. In fact, if you look at eArena, they are able to bring CZ back up, so Daytrade are in the worst spot right now.
Yeah, now you Ultraviolet are quite literally the center of attention right now in this next circle, and with the blue zone already on the Daytrade's backs here, with the only sole member left here, Daytrade is gonna have to pin all their hopes onto him here to try to weather out the storm. So 3 teams can still fight it out here, or rather can still afford to try to take some fights here, and the Expendables are trying to do their very best to scout out the last member of Daytrade. Can't quite find him over the horizon though, so they have to turn their attention now to the other teams on the other side.
Yeah, Flash caught another shot onto Duck Juice this time, but once more no confirmed kills. Tanvu will bring him back up. You are losing that helmet though, those armor damage. They are gonna start stacking up. UV not having the most kills, only 2 in the back. And finally, they are gonna lose a part of that circle, but again, the center is controlled. I wonder if the other 2 on the northern side will start to rendezvous because UV are getting pressured by the members of eArena, and you only have 2 of them. So it's still a fair fight. The Expendables continuing to play outside.
And this is good. This is making a really good situation here actually for UV, because if even eArena decides to pressure them in the building, they still have another 2 can provide support from a distance. But now with Daytrade's Flash joining them in this fight here, he might try to become a third party. So far, he's been very, very annoying to the Expendables on the other side. But now that he's moved away from Sniper's Nest position, he's hopeful to at least try to get some extra kills when he gets into the building. Now just checking those corners, making sure that it's completely clear. UV in the meantime decided to go on the outside and get it completely wiped though by eArena. eArena's KM99 taking out the kill. Sapao as well. He's actually taking himself out there, so there's already 2 down from UV here. What a bad way to start things off for them.
Yeah, and those were the 2 members that needed to get into the circle, right? Completely caught mid-rotation. The frag grenade thrown out, unfortunately not finding anything in return. 777 does see the head of Sizzy, can't really get the shot in, so has to reposition for a higher altitude. eArena somehow still keeping the entire squad alive throughout all of that. They will heal themselves up as well, and again the biggest target is to flush UV out of the compound and get more control. The next 10 seconds will give us phase number 8, and that's going to be scary because now the circle already don't have much space to work with, and you still have this buildings which the teams are trying to get control over. Flash himself having one on the southern end, and this circle barely keeping EA in it.
Barely, but then the other 2 members, KM99 and Zizzy, are just out on the outside and will be caught by the blue zone soon. So they need to rotate sooner rather than later. So that's why the other 2 members are going to try to put some pressure on the MBK and Smell, who are holed up inside the building right now, inside now, leading the way, trying to get up on top. Doesn't quite find his way through quite yet, but then again, they need to try to flush out the rest of UV here. So spotting the windows right now, we got them set up on the other side exactly. Now, where is TE going here? They're just riding themselves straight into the building now, so they're gathered around for the feast. But who's going to be able to take that first bite?
Yeah, they have 12 kills already, Victor. 12 for eArena. That is incredible. That's 1/6 of the lobby eliminated by them. They're still looking for more. UV, 2 men left alive. eArena continuing. Get the exchange. 777 spotted out already. Tries to hide behind the buggy. Unfortunately, there's only so much space for him to work with. The Expendables can't really get any closer as Larry actually that guns down his own teammate. Once he falls, Larry ends up getting shot. eArena losing 2 members just like that.
Oh, that's just terrible.
That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. NBK secures that kill as well. eArena, what is happening? NBK. Smell finds KM99. eArena now in a bad spot as Insight struggling to keep his team in this game. But that's not going to happen as Tanvu finds it with the frag. eArena ends up being the winner of that one, but Daytrade, they're storming the compound, and look at TE. The team that have been playing from the outside the entire time now has the best chance of winning.
Yeah, they have the manpower, they have the numbers. Unicorn Venom is going to try to bring NBK back up, so at least they'll have two partners. Daytrade is still in the fight though, as Flash has been able to stay out of trouble this whole time. So it's still a three-way battle here. The Expendables now going to be making their way into the building that Venom is holding at the moment. Flash in the meantime just watching intently from his window, from his vantage point right now, to just let the other two fight there and hopefully be able to secure a top 3 position here. But Flash he's going to be repositioning himself actually, in fact. So we'll see how the Expendables going to try to do this, because they have the manpower right now, but they don't have information here, and that's going to be crucial because this building, it's relatively huge. You can't really tell if they're going to be on the first floor or the second floor here, and there's plenty of opportunities for them to try to send some grenades. But I don't think there's a lot even going on the side of Unicorn Venom here. Only a couple of frags, one smoke and one Molotov. He's still going to try to send a smoke anywhere on the outside and hopefully try to throw off the rest of the Expendables.
This is going to be a tough one. Tanvu is still keeping an eye on the outside, and then Molotov is going to cut off that point of entry, but MBK tries to go for a jiggle, ends up dying, just absolute spray down by the AOG. The Expendables slowly making their way in as well. Daytrade not suddenly Smell needs to get his team back, but that's going to expose his position. Look at all the flashbang trying to push Smell away from his teammate, and the Expendables just doing it so well. It's nothing much that UV could do, and Daytrade is a 1 versus 3, and Flash, he has survived for longer than he should have, but maybe in the end, the Expendables, okay, the Flash gets the first one onto Duck Juice. 32 and getting good damage down as well. Those chips, they're gonna start to pay off. The frag, unfortunately, blocked by the wall. The second frag also comes through for Tanvu. That's not hitting the mark. 777 going to Duck Juice. Flash is gonna toss off his own nade. Got it to Tanvu, but missing the shot. Good attempt nonetheless, but the Expendable starts it off with a chicken dinner.
Indeed, what a finish that was there. But I gotta say, I was wondering what the heck happened to eArena during the fight, because it seemed like a mistake actually costed them entirely this match in the final place. We're seeing the Expendables on screen right now, and a really performance for them in this first round, and with a chicken dinner in hand, you know, just to bring back that mulligan analogy I was bringing for. I mean, they've got the best hand in the best suits right now to play in this day one itself. So yeah. As of right now, the Expendables can certainly savor this victory right now. They've certainly proven themselves to be able to get this chicken dinner now. Let's see how they're going to try to play things out as the day is still very young.
Oh, it is. You know, I gotta say, you know, I gotta segue a bit. That is a very cool training room. Very cool room for the Expendables. But overall, just a very calculated approach to the final circle, right? We kind of talked about how, you know, it's very centered around UV, kind of in the middle. But the Expendables was the only team that's playing from afar, just trying to not get themselves into hot water. They're just stealing these kills away, playing it really safe, keeping the distance, and it actually paid off. At the end of the day, even though they did get pressured by eArena a little bit, we did see that a little bit of mistake from eArena towards the very end that kind of gave that round away.
And more importantly, I think for Expendables is that they didn't lose that fight against the Daytrade actually, because Flash the whole time was hounding them from that sniper's nest there, preventing them from being able to get close to the building. That's why they started that final fight on the outside, because they were held up for so long by Flash. In the end, they couldn't get themselves into a good position for this final fight. But it's good to see they were able to come back strongly from that. I mean, getting the hit onto NBK was what sealed the deal for them, I felt, because that allowed them to snowball so effectively to just take out the rest of Unicorn Venom there. So nevertheless, a great performance here for the Expendables on this first round of Miramar. We got yet another round of Miramar to come after this, but what has been some of the highlights for you though?
The highlights, can I say the team kill? I think it's just how, aside from the fact that the Expendables got the chicken dinner, you also look at eArena, right? I think they finished the round with 12 kills, 13 kills, and it kind of makes up for the deficit that I think they lost out because they didn't get the chicken dinner at the very end. But overall, I would say Flash, he definitely caught my attention.
And again, with eArena having like what was it by the end of the round there? I mean, we saw 12 kills. I think we're going to find out a lot more about how many points we've gotten completely here from eArena. So I expect it's going to be quite close between them as well as the Expendables, because both of them were been consistently getting the fights all across. You know, so we're going to be seeing once they've tabulated the full scores what the full picture of our first match will be. But gotta say, what an explosive start to this day, isn't it?
Absolutely, we have one more map of Miramar coming up, and afterwards, then we will kind of debut our latest map in the competitive pool. But we kind of get a feel of Miramar's, and it kind of panned out just how we thought it would be, right? Just a very slow start because it's a very chaotic mid to late game, and it really, and I think it does, put some pressure on a lot of these teams where there's not much happening early on, and sometimes if you have a stroke of luck, you make a rotation just a bit late, you get caught up in the middle. These third parties, they would ruin your chances. So I want to see how these teams kind of switch it up when we head into Miramar again on match 2.
Exactly. There's still 4 more maps to be played for the rest of the day, so make sure you guys clear your schedules. You're going to be sitting here with us as we bring you guys all of the action here in this PUBG Asia Super Cup. So that was already the first match done and dusted. Second one is still going to be on Miramar yet again. Still going to be seeing whether or not Cerberus will be able to come back a bit stronger this time around. They weren't able to make it to the top 4, surprisingly, even though they actually had a fairly decent start to this one.
And I think Cerberus, right? They started off on a rough foot, right? They almost lost one of their members to PMA. They were able to recover, but unfortunately, it's just again those mid-game chaos, right? Really caught them off guard. I think a lot of teams fell prey to that attack all around. Also, we said how Redsea Esports, they have a very easy way coming in from the northern side because most of the teams are on the southern end, and they also got wiped out pretty quickly.
Indeed. So I want to also see whether or not Daytrade will be able to do something a little bit better this time around, because it seems like they thought they had the best idea actually getting to that building in the south side of that circle there, but unfortunately the next circle spawned a little bit farther north, forcing them out of the way and out into the open. Only Flash was able to capitalize on most of it, given that he had the M24 in hand and was certainly giving us a lot of really good shots throughout. But nevertheless, I think good start so far. We'll see how things will turn out for the rest of the day. Yeah, especially when we get to Tego, that's going to be one that I really want to see later on in this fight here, because while Miramar and ArkAngel obviously are very familiar to these guys here, this new rule set is certainly forcing them to adjust a little bit to this competition, but it seems like they have things on lock, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it definitely feels so, right? I think that you have that slight off day. Well, I want to say off day, but you have a slight period to kind of prep yourself for this tournament, which I think in the grand scheme of things is definitely the more important ones, and then you kind of get up to a good start. And when you have a format that only gives you 10 rounds to make use of, you gotta have a explosive opening. And I think we saw some shining examples that perhaps if they keep this up for the rest of the day, they're already halfway through the grand finals.
Exactly. So nevertheless, it's still a long day. It's still a long week actually, because really we have got 15 maps total to kind of play in this competition here, and now they've already got a little bit of a taste of Miramar under this new rule set. I wonder how things would change when it comes into the second round here, which is again going to be on Miramar. We've seen time and time again that sometimes the teams that perform well in that first round sometimes get completely washed out in the second, because either they get hard dropped by someone else, or other groups have already realized, oh, this is what they're doing, okay, we're going to try to counteract them in the second round here. How likely do you think these kind of movements will be happening here in this next round?
Probably not much, honestly. I think that we would still see kind of a slow approach to Miramar for round number 2. And as much as I want to see a lot more of that aggression, I just don't feel like it will be the case. Though we did have some hot drops early on, PMA against CES. I am waiting to see if that will change for round 2, because they both tested Picado, and PMA kind of winning out control towards the very end. I wonder if they would I wonder if one of these teams would switch away, right? I think if you're PMA, you probably would stay there because you feel a lot more confident. But for Cerberus, coming in with high expectations, if you got off to a rough start, you gotta look for a way to recover it now.
Exactly. So with those cards being dealt right now for them, but then knowing what they're capable of, I would expect to see them try to fight back to the top of the charts very soon. We're still going to be waiting to see whether or not we'll be getting to our next itinerary here. But for now, though, I guess it'd be worth kind of like pointing out that like with this map already having been done here, I mean, any kind of things that was really surprising for you, really?
Surprising? I would say that I think, aside from CERBERUS, I think CERBERUS is probably the most surprising one, right? You kind of get taken up very early. We didn't get to see much of QConfirm, unfortunately. Attack all around also got wiped out. But I would say that, what's the team again? I think either it's Enter Force 36, I think they displayed some solid mid-game control.
Oh, yeah.
All these pressures early on that they were applying to a lot of these teams. And even though they didn't finish strong, you can see they finished 12. Unfortunately, it's only 1 kill point. But they were kind of a huge factor that a lot of these teams were not able to comfortably kind of move around the map. You have E36 just make that shooting at people that passes by.
I'm surprised they only got 1 kill point. Actually, I thought they actually got a little bit more than that, but nevertheless, they might have just gotten the knockdown, but didn't quite confirm the kill. And things were definitely very chaotic during that mid stage anyway. So maybe perhaps Ender Force might have lost out a bit of opportunity there. But the Expendables, of course, having taken the bulk of the placement points and 11 kills to boot as well, will be taking the first rank in our first match here. eArena, despite having slightly more kills, but only 1 point extra in kills, just the lack of placement points for them, unfortunately relegates them to second place. But that puts them ahead of Daytrade right now. Daytrade, having been able to do flashes, great effort towards the end there, was able to recover a lot of placement points. So even though they only got away with 3 kills, that 9 points is enough to keep them on par right now with Unicorn Venom.
Yeah, and UV was, they had a pretty solid hold until the very end also, right? And as much as we say that Tag all around, they had a rough game, and that's in terms of placement. You look at the kill point, they have 7 in the bag, so it still keeps them kind of within that top 8, which is game capped by PMA, of all teams, and that's the team that kind of CERBERUS ran into and almost lost a member at the very start. I would say, for this round 1, for at least for the top 4, they have a very solid start. UV, you have eArena, the Expendables, Daytrade, these 4 teams. If they can keep this up in game 2, then I think they would have a better chance of making it.
Yeah, so all the overall leaderboard there, now we know more or less where these teams stand, and things still look very, very close on the front. I mean, we've got 2 teams having exactly the same number of points. The difference between eArena as well as the Expendables were just literally by a small margin, Yeah, it's just really the placement points that really tipped the things in the favor for the Expendables. Now, we're still going to be going through to the next few rounds here. Hopefully, guys will be able to stick around with this, because we got so much PUBG action to show you guys here in this PUBG Asia Super Cup 2023, the summer edition of this, the continuation of the PUBG Global Series, and it's been what an absolute honor it is really to be here today.
Yeah, especially when we get to witness. For me, if I get to witness good quality games, I'm always happy. And in this case, I am really excited to see what the rest of the team have to bring to the table. I'm a big advocate of Dark Horse, Cinderella stories. I think we saw a couple of that, but I kind of want to see if the second game of Norama is going to give us a lot more confirmation on what these teams are capable of, because the top 4 teams are still the front runners or teams from stronger regions.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a break, I believe. Yeah, so we're going to be coming back here with our second round on Miramar right now for this APAC Asia Super Cup. So stick around. We'll be right back after the break.
Point 2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast pace and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store, and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast-paced and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast-paced and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast pace and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store, and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the PUBG Asia Super Cup Summer Series of 2023. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Husky. We've been your casters since the first match of the day, and what a match it has been so far, isn't it, Husky?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the Expendables getting the chicken dinner at the very end, but it's not an easy fight, right? We saw kind of four teams kind of locked in a gridlock. You have Flash from Daytrade just refusing to die. You have the Expendables trying to push into eArena, who at that point of time, I believe, had 12 kills. But, you know, some unfortunate event preceded eArena. They got a team kill, unfortunately, and that allowed Expendables to take control. So much facets to look at the map of Miramar. And that was our opening match, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. But we still have one more Miramar match coming up. You know, we still get to see these two teams still get out on that map one more time. And this is where I start to look forward to the adjustments. Will we see any changes?
Yeah, so the top three right now, as of after for the first match, of course, we've got Expendables having a chicken dinner, eArena not too far behind, and they've been one of the, actually I think they are the team with the highest amount of kills, only by 1 point though compared to Expendables, to be fair, but nevertheless, still the most kills out of everyone else. So do you think eArena is going to be coming back a little bit, a lot stronger in this next round here?
I think if you are eArena, right, and you finish that round with high kill counts, I think you're going to be really happy. If you look at, I believe, the total kill counts of all of the teams, you have the highest being eArena with 12. I think Expendables got 11, and the third place, I believe, was Attack All Around with 7. Everyone else has got 3, 4s. So eArena, even if they're not getting the chicken dinners, if they're consistently landing these double-digit kills, it is going to put them in a decent position at the end of the day.
Exactly. One of the biggest surprises, though, especially for me, was like to see the EXO clan got bowed out immediately from 15th place itself. We also had CERBERUS, having a bit of a tangle with PMA, Positive Mental Attitude. Even though they were able to pull out a fight and actually managed to trade quite well against PMA, but nevertheless, they both finished 8th and 9th, with PMA being 8th and CERBERUS being in 9th respectively. So a bit of a middling sort of situation going on, I think, in that for these two teams here.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the early drop spot, right? I think both CERBERUS and PMA, they both drive Picado, so kind of see these early exchanges. I wonder if that would change as well. I think if you're CERBERUS, you're definitely not happy with that opening. With kind of the reputation that they have coming into this, right? They said that they are one of the most, I think, consistent teams from Vietnam, right? First seed, sort of first seeded, but here they are struggling on that first round. And when you don't have much grounds to work with, I think you really got to put the pedal to the metal, really start to polish up, kind of flush out some things that didn't work well on game 1 and really try to bring it on game 2, because by the end of the day, they're going to cross the halfway point, and I'm not really sure if you can recover in just one day.
Yeah, and it's also especially interesting to see that Expendables having to kind of actually make quite a journey to get themselves to that final circle, really, compared to everyone else in that top 4, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, eArena themselves didn't have to travel too far, or rather, sorry, Daytrade didn't have to travel too far. eArena themselves, were already coming out from the south side anyway, so that circle landing literally within the backyard was sort of advantageous for them. But conversely, Expendables, they were a lot more to the eastern side, having landed around La Bendita, that area, and actually having cut through a lot of room there. In fact, having to cross paths together with some of the other teams going through. So the fact that they were able to, be able to make it that final fight, I think is quite impressive on the Expendables' part, for that situational awareness.
Yeah, I mean, they had to fight to many teams, right, to even get to a position where they, kind of are able to have a decent distance to work with, and towards the end of the circle, teams that came in from the southern side generally have to really just fight their way through, because the circle just was really unforgiving, and you have a lot of these drops that happen to go towards the southern end of the map as well. One thing that's good about the first round is that we have a very, very generous flight path. I'm an evil man. I want to see that change, because when we did Challenger Rumble, we did not get a single normal circle.
Right. I mean, circles either in the water.
This is the first normal circle we got in a tournament.
Yeah.
And we had to win one tournament for this. So I wonder if that will continue. It will be very interesting though, because especially on the map like Miramar, you generally don't expect to get a lot of water towards the very end.
Yeah, and especially on that note as well, in the new super rules for PUBG starting from this year, the where the circle is going to spawn is a lot more consistent now. So you're always guaranteed that in phase 4 and phase 8 especially, the circle will always be on land. It will always try to aim towards the inward area or just avoid the water. So so I hope that this will reduce the amount of weird circles that we experience in the past.
Yeah, I think we have had way too much weird circles, but that's kind of one of the things that we discussed about at the start of the show, right? These minor balancing changes that really allow the competitive scene to have a lot more factors that these teams can control. Circle, you are not worried too much about water in terms of drop spawns. You are also not too worried about what you might or might not getting. Vehicles was a big part of this, and when we talk about vehicles, Miramar is a map that demands you to have vehicles just so you can traverse the map.
And I want to see, once we come back into Miramar once more, are we going to be seeing these teams take the same kind of flight path, or they're going to be taking things a little bit differently? The flight path this time is definitely very different, a lot more biased towards that eastern side, and you got the teams coming in from the north to the south. EXO Clan also this round yet again jumping up very, very early, so it seems like they're very, very much favoring that north eastern side. So I wonder if that's part of the strategy here, just kind of like sweep, the Campo Militar, the Torre Armanda, and just basically take the loot from that side there and just sweep their way downwards. It seems like that is kind of the game plan here for them. CES as well as PMA seem to be jumping out at the same time, and they're headed towards Picado once more. Are we going to be seeing a repeat of round one where they're going to be hot dropping each other, or CES going to drop themselves a little bit short here? I mean, again, the possibilities are still there for them to go for round number 2 here.
Yeah, especially when this flight path is so much more skewed towards the eastern side. So you open up the west side of the map, and a lot of these teams might be forced to kind of alter their drop spot just a little bit. That's not gonna feel good if you are teams that normally wants to go to El Pozo and normally decides to drop to Valdemar. But it's a blessing in disguise. I guess the circle was like, well, if we give it the flight path on the east side, we're gonna put the circle on the eastern side as well. And I think with the new, with kind of how they adjusted the circle formation and how it closes in, I think the teams can easily just read that we are gonna end up on dry land towards the later phase of the game.
Pretty much, but I think more importantly for CS and PMA, should they decide to try to brawl against each other at Picado once more, they have very much less to worry about this time around.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, exactly. The jumping around the top, and Teddy already getting the first hit. Duck Mai already taking out Pete as well, so it's 1-for-1 at the moment. Tycon already kind of finding stops, finishing off as well. So CERBERUS already drawing blood straight onto Positive Mental Attitude. Now they will also take out Pete at the same time. 2 members of PMA still remaining. Teddy managed to get out of the way though, and gone way out of dodge there, and CS just going to be holding the ground still right at this building here, and with those 2 kills, I think they're certainly going to be very happy with that.
Absolutely elated. They don't even lose Himas. Able to revive him back out. PMA completely flushed out of Picado. Finally, CERBERUS winning this out. And this hot drop is so much more important because it's just at the edge of the circle, right? Like if you are CS, if you are either CS or PMA, you definitely want to take control of this area. But if PMA right now, they are completely stuck in Picado. Teddy, he is held out on the 2nd floor of a building. As Lulun, he will go for the run. And he's going to probably get forced out of the circle himself. Teddy trying to get a sneaky spray, can't get Tycon. Very unfortunate. This now alerts the entirety of CERBERUS to where he is. And he might end up losing his life because of this. Himas is also low, trying to bandage himself back up, but Teddy's position is now compromised.
Yeah, he's going to try to find a window to escape from, or at least dig himself in deep into that building there. But you can see that CERBERUS is not going to be letting this go without an additional fight. So we already have Tycon already scanning around inside the stadium area, not finding anyone yet from PMA. Teddy still on the building on the opposite side there, but at least he's getting himself close to the windows now to try to spot the rest of PMA. Now Teddy just finally managed to make his way to this next building here, just across from where the warehouse is. Seeing if he try to spot out Himas, but Himas is the only one who's low enough that he could potentially try to steal a kill there. But nevertheless, at this point now, with the rest of CS already knowing where his position is, they're going to be guaranteed to try to lock him in this position now and make sure he doesn't leave without them knowing. Number 1, in the meantime, finding a kill onto Unicorn Venom, the NBK taken out from the get-go here in the start of this round number 2.
And, number 1, keeping Mio healthy, that's kind of the silver lining out of all of that. Ruby also making those early rotations. Sapao was engaged in combat early on, but does have that that medkit to bandage himself back up. So UV getting a slower start, actually a more aggressive start this time. Contrary to game 1, we've already lost 3 players in 4.5 minutes in, and UV now they get to basically ransack the entire compound. A lot of resources there, at least to be able to fill up 2 of these players. I mean, even if you look at what they have, right, the helmets, the vest, some sort of equipment to aid them in that mid game.
It's still a Mexican standoff going on here in Parado, though. Teddy still holed up in his building here, while the rest of CS are continuing to give the run around and hopefully be able to flush, to be able to gather a lot of loot. Lun Lun is actually in the building that's across from where Teddy is, so they're both not going to be able to support each other from this position. I think Teddy might,
Tycon, right?
Yeah, I think he might have saw the top of Tycon's head as he passed by that building. He's going to come around again. Oh, he's going to be spotted one time. One more hit, and that's going to be a headshot for Teddy straight away. So he may not be able to finish him off though because there's no windows exposing his body. But right now, CS, they're going to be desperate to try to get a trade out of that.
Yeah, they need to find where Teddy is, and Lulun was on the other side, so I wonder if they can clean up Tycon. This building is very huge to traverse. You can see that he is beelining towards his teammate right now, and they kind of have an inkling of where Teddy is, but Himas can't find him. It's going to be a 2 versus 1 rush into Teddy, and even if he can hold on, this would be a massive win for PMA.
Yeah, Dukmai now sending a frag grenade down towards where Teddy's approximate position is. That is not going to land though, but Teddy now being alerted that his position is under fire is going to keep around the staircase. And the shotgun head almost takes off the head there of that Cerberus member, but he's going to watch out from the other side as well. Now Haisaki is going to come up. He's already got a knockdown straight away on Teddy. Now they will be able to finish him off. Dukmai coming from the outside, so they only have one more member of PMA left. One Lun still inside the stadium area here, still on the second floor. Has a good scope here. Goes for a shot. There, almost takes out Hymas, but then he is still alive though with barely a sliver of health, 6 points of health, still keeping him in this fight.
Yeah, the helmet really literally saved him. That helmet got smashed with that bullet, with the bullets from Lun. Could have been disastrous for CES. Dukmai actually taking the plank to cross over to the other balcony. That's how they got the pincer on the Teddy early on, but Lun, he knows that he is trapped in the stadium. Has to try and survive for as long as possible. There is no way out of this. Of Picado, you gotta find, kind of fight his way out, and Hakai actually getting down to Dukmi. What has happened? Did he jump off?
I mean, he was.
What?
Oh, that's really, yeah, that is a bit weird. Not too sure what happened to Dukmai there. We'll have to find out later on. Star-Lord in the meantime getting caught out completely by Virtue 2222, and that's going to be a kill for him to save her for the moment. But the rest of E36 now trying to crowd around to try to get a return, but there's only two members of number 1 out here for them to find, and they're gonna make themselves rather scarce at this point.
Yeah, okay, now he's gonna hide in this first floor shack. They did lose Starlo though. Unfortunately, right? You see this rush coming, this rush from number 1, but E36, they're going to be trapped in this area for a long time. Not much space to wiggle around, but they do have buildings to protect themselves. Number 1, I see, Bao. Actually, just missing by a pixel. Timing just a bit off if you're okay. Very unfortunate. But they did see Virtue, who did peek himself out, and Lambao down to 1 HP as well. Tries to throw the nade early on, cooked it up, but forced away, and Sylphia finding the confidence to push on forward. The Molly to clear out that room as well. K to follow up E36 on the aggressive move. Let's go. Was able to see K the jiggle, double jiggle from the side of E36. Trying to use the frag to get rid of Go, but can't do so as PMA gets wiped out by Himas.
Wow, Cerberus certainly putting a hurt on them after the attempt to hot drop them in the match number 1. Now match number 2, Cerberus is like, hey, yo, PMA, kind of a shame if we get pushed out in 16 plays, isn't it? Well, that's kind of have to pass now, but for now, E36 continuing the siege against number 1. Now, they already revived their 1 knockdown member, so they will have the opportunity to move out of the way, but Sylvia's already moving in so quickly with that sawn-off shotgun. He wants to draw blood against his team right now, but he just needs to spot them out. They're holed up inside the building right now, watching every single corner, watching every window here, waiting, baiting E36 to come out to fight.
Yeah, E36 are all stacked up together, but number 1, they split in this 2-2 formation, right? They also try to hold the side of the building, but good news for E36 is that they are taking a lot more space. That is what you need, because they didn't have much to work with early on. They tried to clear out on the left side. Deva spraying into the smoke as well, just in case if the members of number 1 hides in there. So this does create a bit of distraction for E36. The uncertainty of where the members of number 1 would be, and allowing the number 1 to hold these tight angles.
I see QConfirm on a distance there, so they have no doubt being drawn here by the gunfire that's happening between Enterforce as well as team number 1. So they're going to have to try to wrap this up quickly, you know, either decide to try to peel out of here, which means they may have to leave a member or two in order to hold them off while they try to make their escape, or they're going to have to try to be aggressive, going to have to push in, but with E36 already down 1 man, I don't think the option is quite on the table for them, and given that they're already spending a lot of their resources here, a lot of their health kits and first aid kits in order to try to sustain themselves in this battle here, it might be a losing battle for them to continue to get holed up like this.
And this is good for number 1, right? Actually, they got E36 pincered. Again, like you mentioned earlier on, the QC, they did have 1 member that is watching this happen. I'm wondering if Old Ponce is firing at E36, because that would be really bad news. So far, you can see again down to very low health. QC might just come in to try and vulture this. This is a bad spot for E36 to be in. Another smoke thrown out. and that is going to obstruct E36. They gotta get rid of Opon, so Deva has already spotted his location as the circle right now continues to go towards that southern side. Los Leones is kind of the only town that's within the circle. Big pushes are gonna start to come in. UV and TE converging onto one call.
Yeah, in fact, like QConfirm is actually being held up here with the fight going on between E36 and number 1. So if anything, but they could actually just bypass them completely and just go straight for the circle. I mean, La Bendita is completely left wide open, so that's a good spot for them to try to maneuver towards. And I think like teams now maybe facing a situation where they have to decide here, are they going to try to keep themselves out for like a full-on open ground battle, or is it going to be urban over Los Leones? In the meantime, End of Force for 36 sees them actually, I think that was QConfirm who just picked up a little bit of a zip line going above them, so that's bypassing completely. UV in the meantime getting cornered outside, Ken already taken out by one call, who has set themselves up very nicely on this building here. Going to continue to some shots as well onto Redsea, who just happen to be bypassers in this situation here. But right now, Unicorn Venom very much in danger of losing two of their members right now. One of them has already run away. They're going to leave his teammate for dead right now. E36 in the meantime on the outside right now, but number 1 is giving chase here. They see them just around the corner here, but the smoke grenade is making it hard for Gao 1 to be able to spot him out. He goes inside the building. He sees Deva. He's going to be knocked down already. One more member still remaining from E36's side. Well, number 1 comes across the hill. The revive just came true, but only just barely. Sylvia's already down. Going to be taken out. Another spray there will be finishing off XP1, and that will be entire force 36 getting entirely eliminated in 15 plays.
And just lost complete control of their compound. Pushed out into the open. Worst position for that E36 could be in. So much pressure on them. And it's just number 1 taking advantage of that situation. QC, on the other hand, still pinned down in this area. You have SST in that vicinity. In fact, UV, they just got away from a war zone and they drove straight into another. That's how he is basically pinned down right now by QC.
Yeah, he cannot move out of there without risking too much. There's not much cover there other than the dunes right now, so he's going to have to use the natural terrain in order to crawl out of that position. He's probably not going to be able to use a vehicle either. The moment he gets into that, QConfirm would know that he's going to be on the move, and they will certainly be chasing him down. In fact, we already got Pons picking up his vehicle now, looking to try to make the rotate here. They are still within a circle though, so this is looking like an opportunity for them to try to perhaps gatekeep even more teams coming in. And speaking of gatekeeping, Expendables spotting number 1, making a move across the field.
And number 1, they just touched down after cleaning out E36, so finding some refuge. But the Expendables, they are holding a very big area, which unfortunately is not included in the next circle. They are just barely on the outskirts, so they will also have to move as well. But number 1 will have to go to Expendables, right? You can see Delvin, he is holding on kind of the eastern side of the road, but that did attract the members of one call. So Delvin, he's going to start driving away to rendezvous with the rest of the team. They might cross paths with the members of number 1. And UV, they are out.
Yeah, Mr. Flank found Sapao while he was outside there being ganged upon early on by QConfirm. Now they will come in to finish the job. Redsea is. Lyrics was able to slip out away. He was under fire from Exo Clan earlier on in the eastern side, and it seemed like he was a little bit split out from the rest of his team there, so they will only provide long-range fire cover. Now he's able to get into the vehicle and rejoin the rest of his group, so that's great to see there. Exo Clan is going to be left searching to see whether they can find any more kills there. In the meantime, SunSister still very much held up inside this warehouse here. They got one call on the northern side, and they got NGE over here going against Daytrade Gaming, who has somehow managed to find themselves on the high ground here, and in fact already knocked down Fab one more time.
And Daytrade is having a huge high ground advantage, but good news for NGE. You know, they are able to extract their fallen teammate and bring him back up. Not much of combat to work with. You even throw out that early smoke grenade. Meanwhile, eArena are just vulturing from this high ground, trying to see if they can pick off some members of Exo Clan. As eArena, they're going to reposition themselves. They really want to get these kills. Last round they got 12. This time they want to continue scoring those, and KM99 in a very, very good spot, and that's where one call is right in front of them. As eArena, they also need to make it into the circle, so going to one call feels to be pivotal to their success. Nandu J also putting on a lot of their suppressive fires on the Exoclan, who just cannot catch a break.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good hit there actually on Baba Goose. That's now brought him down to halfway in his health here. In the meantime, the Expendables finds Destroy there. Mao Rush has been taken out of the game completely there by the Mini 14. So the Expendables already finding some good kills in their part. Delwyn, in the meantime, sees the Exoclan also coming across there, but then Deadly Strike right now under fire here. They're left outside. They only got a smoke grenade to cover them, and that's going to be an easy prey for any snipers within this circle right now.
Mr. Flying, he's gonna start parking on Redsea, forced to take this fight. They do have Daytrade right in front of them. Redsea and 4-man, I think Daytrade are pretty much spread thin just by a little bit. Mr. Flying setting things up with that smoke grenade, that frag almost connecting as well onto Dean. They were surprised then. The flashbang to clear out this building, allowing Dean to push on forward with the AOG in hand. And that also prompts Daytrade to start falling back, especially when Balmov is in the front line, but the rest of Daytrade are providing support fire from just basically 20 miles away. So Redsea can't really chase forward yet, and to do so they will need to be using a lot more smoke grenades, and that is not good for them resources, because in terms for Redsea, we'll have to use a lot, but Daytrade unfortunately will also need to move northwards.
That's the thing, like at the end of the day, even though Redsea managed to push them off of that building, they're going to be gate kept by Daytrade by the time they try to go into the circle there. So, and the fact they spent quite a few throwables there in order to flush out that member of Daytrade from the building there, I think that might be a bit costly for them at this point. Now, Inside trying to get a shot there against One Call, instead takes a lot of damage himself. He's going to be forced to fall back a little bit. One Call very much gathered around this fight, but then on the other side, you also have Deadly Strike as well, making a move, actually getting close, encroaching into eArena's position here. In fact, they're just literally bouncing their way through the dudes here, and I might have actually spotted eArena while they continue to do this siege against One Call.
And KM99 also got taken out as well, so eArena are even down one man. They will still have their sights on One Call though. You can see double frags thrown up by Inside. Kind of going fishing a little bit, but just way off the mark. One Call is going to leave Nandu and Trick back as they do circle around with the other two members. Got the Vigo in hand. Meanwhile for Exoclan, not too lucky, stranded out in the open. The Expendables right in front of them.
Yeah, Expendables actually having the cover of the building is making it easier for them to defend this position. Which, but the Exoclan does have one extra man. Baba Goose in the meantime is a little bit tied up right now, trying to keep team number 1 at bay with his his Mini 14, and right now has not been able to get any blood yet. Zigo1 has been able to touch him quite well over this dude, so a little bit of a funny pop the weasel going on here.
Yeah, you do like those jiggles. So it's a very entertaining to watch, right? They're just seeing if the bullet is faster or the person is faster. Meanwhile, QC finally pushing into SST. SunSister's losing Runex to start it off, and it seems like SST, they want to hold back QC, but it's going to be hard. But eArena from behind as well. QC might just end up getting pincered. SST only have one more guy left alive in half. It's the last man standing there. Guess what a shot with the peak, downing Leon's, and that might open up QC to a very dangerous flank from eArena, who are slowly encroaching. They will try to bring Leon's back up as well, which is going to take some time, but Imhak, they utility the Negan Trona as well. Ooh. Even switching between the doorways and the windows, but he's down to 30 health, not looking too healthy. And finally, Elza Paloi is going to dispatch of him. SunSister's out in 13.
That could have been a lot worse with QC there. I mean, that was being fired upon by two teams at once. I mean, Exoclan as well was getting into the mix. Baba Goose actually got a good shot to get the hit shot. QC. Good shot by Inside as well. Already down on the offense. And another one on the Paloi. So 2 down for QC, and the rest of eArena piling into the building here. But a lot of shots being taken by Lyrics while the blue zone comes and engulfs Pet Dread. Right now, he's going to have to fall back here. He does have an AUG in hand here, but he's not going to be able to get out of position. In fact, he's going to be losing a lot of health. Look at that. Barely even able to get a health kit up. And just barely able to stay alive.
The adrenaline shot is bringing him back up. Redsea actually got wiped out by NGE in 11th place. But eArena, I mean, Inside, he is doing massive work right now. Those 1v2 clutches. He's going to try and douse out the flame with the smoke. At least use the smoke to kind of block that vision for now. And facilitate some sort of exit as they need to continue to move into that safe zone. One Call can't really get close enough to them. Neither does QC, but again, eArena, they're locked in this fight against QC. They have to deal with them Daytrade. Now taking advantage of that, Flash is going to start moving forward. That is going to allow him, end up having him cross path potentially with NGE. eArena can try to cross the main road, the most dangerous part of this rotation. Zizzy might just have to give himself up. If he gets shot one more time, Insight will try to protect him. Zizzy makes it through, and this tag team maneuver from eArena, getting them through the rougher parts of this rotation.
This is going to be a really tough rotation here in eArena because you got Daytrade just being able to hound them from atop, but they have at least Puchills just having his attention focused very much on QConfirm. T in the meantime already caught out Kimpy and ticks him out completely though, so Exo Clan was not able to pull away from there without being unscathed, and Gats in the meantime gets a grenade there while Puchills goes ahead and tries to finish off Zizzy. Just one more shot will be able to finish off that member of eArena.
The guy was down to 20 health, so the barrel is just enough. SLR absolutely deadly from this range. Nothing much to protect eArena as well. Even the terrain favors Daytrade. Lyrics does sneak into this cover, but unfortunately for Insight, you have to start using those smoke grenades. In fact, gets spotted as well, forced right back behind the tree. That is absolutely bad news for Insight. He's trying to loot out whatever's left of Zizzy, but he is getting completely pelted with bullets. That smoke keeping him just covered just for a little bit. Uses that adrenaline shot, but that blue zone now becomes a secondary threat. He's trying to rendezvous with Lyrics, but he's again just getting pressured. Alma gets the knock. That's going to be an easy kill onto Insight as the blue actually takes him away. So Daytrade doesn't get the kill confirmed as Exo Clan absolutely expires to number 1.
Oh my god, I mean, Exo Clan actually tried to get the jump in onto number 1 first. They actually got knocked down first, and they got bogged down in that fight. But it was really a choice of either move to the east or move to the west for them. It seems like they chose a little bit wrong. Number 1 is definitely a much stronger position there for them to take the fight. Even though Baba Goose was leading them in the fight early on, it seemed like that was not enough to force number 1 out of the way. Nevertheless, the Expendables still continuing their siege right now onto on call. ONC in the meantime is in right in the ONC is just really Simoy is getting himself in the thick of it actually, where TE is currently set up. This next circle is going to land right on top of the rock that Daytrade is sitting on, so wow, that's incredibly lucky for them.
Yeah, Daytrade is now having the best possible position. I do wonder how the teams are going to attack Daytrade though. Not the entry points are all very treacherous, right? Lyrics is making a lot of noise. Flash will be looking to deal with him. I mean, Daytrade, they're in a good position, but they definitely by no means have the full squad. So you get Puchills. Oh, he's making for this long wraparound as well. They really want to get rid of Lyrics just so they don't have to. They have one less angle to watch. Look at this aggressive pincer. Lyrics has no idea what's coming, even as the flashman popped out as well. Lyrics is going to get, actually not going to get flash. It's not facing where the flash was, but Daytrade will continue this push. They will give up a lot of their position on that high ground just to take care of eArena, and Puchills just makes quick work of Lyrics.
And in the meantime, One Call gets themselves eliminated by the Expendables, so that fight actually won out heavily here for TE. So they now have control over this northern side here. Now they could potentially try to gatekeep number 1, who just only has actually taken that position by the rocks just over on the top side here. So they're going to try to at least spot out where TE is, but they're very much dug into this ruins here that I think is going to be quite hard to force them out of the spot.
Now entering danger zone. They're just an inch away from the circle, right? 8 kills, actually super impressive. I believe the Expendables have 7. CERBERUS now making it into top 6, 5 kills in hand, but they are all kept out of the circle. Well, at least for CERBERUS, they have 2 members in the circle, but to move towards the center where Daytrade was, that is not going to be easy. Attack all around. Also one of the teams here as Dark Juice did get snuffed out by Go from afar. No kills just yet. Attack all around. Despite making it into top 6, they have no kills yet.
Yeah, number 1 in the meantime finding a little bit of a contact here with the Expendables here. The Lambao has already been taken down, unfortunately, so he's really fighting with his life. He has Gao is going to be taken down as well. Mayu is going to try his very best to tag one of the members of TE as he attempts to peel away on a Jeep, but it looks like he's not going to be in time to try to save the rest of the team, so his best bet is trying to get some kill points, but cannot quite finish a kill before Puchills finishes him off instead.
Daytrade basically running away with a steal, but that also allows TE to kind of regroup themselves, right? Dark gets brought back up. They still have the full team. Almost spotted out as well. Able to attack members of TE low, but Delwyn is the target. Tanvu trying to run towards Delvin. That's why you can see Belmo, he's going to prop up that frag grenade as well. The flash not blinding him. That nade is going to destroy the vehicle, but not let any damage onto the members of TE for now. Daytrade having such a strong position. TE, they're going to send Darkjuice, the third person to drive right through the circle, still favoring Daytrade. Darkjuice getting shot from three different positions. Stranded out in the open, trying to fight Belmo while Delvin just got brought back up, and Darkjuice just got knocked as well. And Daytrade just continues to count on the members of TE. Putjuice gets knocked, but Belmo once more trace back.
It's over.
Falls. 777 is the last man standing, and he is in no man's land.
Cerberus as well getting into the mix by taking a couple of those knockdowns, it looks like. So I think Daytrade's kills might have just been stolen in a little bit here as Belmo is trying to spot out Himas on the opposite end here, but they still will hold on to this rock as long as they can. NG in the meantime, I think, were a little bit tied up with that fight that's going on between them and the western side there. So they're only now just starting to get onto close to the rock where Daytrade is currently situated in. TE's last hope here is 777. He does have a sniper rifle in hand, so perhaps he's going to try to play for placements here while attack all around now. Starting to put some pressure on the Cerberus, forcing Haizaki to put out a frag grenade here. Might try to send it straight to that track there. Is it going to catch up? Does a bit of damage, but not enough for the knockout.
A little bit of sharp onto Skirt, but Cerberus, they did lose Tycon, so it's, again, 3 members of Cerberus attack all around. Despite them making it so far, they need kills, right? You need those extra points. Contrary to game 1, they had 1 placement point, but they had 7 kills. This time, it's the complete opposite. 777.
Oh no.
Not much left in the tank for TE this time. No chicken dinner for them for sure. As Flash has his eyes basically locked on 777. The Expendables is caught in a horrible position in that blue zone. Yeah, he's gonna take him out. He's gonna get that point away. Meanwhile, attack all around. Now Heavy Skirt knocked down to the ground thanks to NGE,
nice.
who gets the 2 in a row and actually just wipes out the rest of attack all around. It's down to 3 and all of them have 3 members.
Ooh, amazing shots there by Wagner on the AUG as well, which is not easy to control his recoil, especially without any muzzle brakes. So that's certainly impressive control on his own there. Now Daytrade is finding themselves being part of the King of the Hill for now, but there's certainly many challenges for the throne here. CS is already trying to creep up from the western side here, and I think NGE as well is moving out from the southern side. So they have 3 fronts they have to watch out, 2 fronts they have to watch out for, and attacking from either end here. So it's not going to be quite guaranteed for Daytrade, but who's going to be the first one to get caught out here? It's going to be Haizaki actually taking some shots here from Van Ge, and I don't think he's going to be knocked down, but that's certainly going to be something for him to think about while Van continues his onslaught here. He's fighting with Jill. Gets a good knockdown there onto Daytrade.
And that completely opens up that angle for the rest of the team. Daytrade losing control slowly off their kill. Flash, he wants to help out his teammate, but again, right, one of the few disadvantages, they are so spread out. If you lose one member, the pillars quickly crumble on this foundation. Daytrade losing Belmo also, and they're down in that last lane. There's only 1 less member left, which is found no assistance. NGE also having 2 of their members down. CES looking to claim the chicken dinner in this game number 2 as Fab moves towards his teammate to get him back. Flash once more, last man standing, just like round number 1. Yeah, the energy drink top is up back up as Haizaki does get down, but Duke Knight is going to be able to walk on forward and get Haizaki back up. So Cerberus still in a pretty decent spot. 12 kills already. And they are still looking to get more. Cerberus in a good position. Big frag coming through. Himas also with the rest of the team. Just look at his frag, a bit short. So NG was able to get their members back up. So did Cerberus.
Yeah, and the whole time Flash has to just kind of like sit tight from his side here because there's not much he can do in this situation while there's still many members of CS still roaming about. So Himas is still on the other side there, and I think Flash might have spotted his head peeking above the rocks there. So he's going to send a grenade his way there, hopefully try to deal some damage. But then again, he's definitely waiting to see whether or not NGE will engage on the CS or CS do conversely onto NGE there. But without them making that first move, I don't think there's much that Flash could do.
Yeah, CS just got to be a bit patient. Flash does get 5, and that is even better. CS now have less than 9 minutes that they need to deal with. Big nade coming through from the right. Steals that kill away. And CES making bank so far. Flash trying to push from behind. He's going to make contact right now to Himas. Not going to win that. Chicken dinner goes over to Cerberus Esports. 14 kills. And just incredible recovery.
Could have been 15 if Flash didn't steal that with the grenade there, but that was actually like the best situation you're gonna hope for. If you can't get a chicken dinner, you know, at least take away some points from the one who's gonna eventually get it. And Cerberus looking like another day in the office, really, for them. Not a lot of excitement from their faces, but they certainly know they've nailed down quite a good route here. Good replies, especially after having a bit of a rough start to the first match.
And just so much more composure, right? This game, they take all the boxes they need. They got rid of PMA very early on. That's already 4 points, and they just rampage through the rest of the circle. And again, right? Daytrade, they had the best position, but holding it is a completely different story. And NGE was able to break the stalemate. Cerberus just swooped in to kind of take advantage of that.
Yeah, so well done. This is yet another like very exciting final circle we've seen here, and I think like it's going to be the pattern we're going to continue to see throughout the day here as these teams are already getting now they've already gotten quite the feel of how it is to fight against each other. You know that some of these guys will be raring to try to have another go at these teams here, but for Cerberus at least good recovery there, especially after having only finished in 9th place in match number 1. Now taking chicken dinner in round number 2 is certainly going to do dividends for them in their like quest to be on top of the leaderboard for today.
And I believe Cerberus, you know, they played majority of the round with just 3 members, right? Because they did lose one of it very early on to PMA at Picado, and they still were able to pull through. So they lost Tycon, very unfortunate. But overall, I think most of the teams that were consistent on round 1 still remain consistent in round 2. You know, well, Cerberus being the new addition, but Daytrade, the Expendables, they are still doing very well. I believe Attack All Around also, not just consistent, but they had a slightly better round 2 just in terms of placement.
Yeah, and shout out as well to QConfirm and team number 1. They were involved in quite a few scraps here today, and it seems like they were able to handle the challenge quite handily. I mean, QConfirm had 2 separate teams they were trying to fight against. I think NGE was one of them. I think Daytrade even caught them out at one point. Number 1 was straight up being assaulted by ExoClan as they tried to wrap their way through to the phase 6 circle, but was able to hold them off and actually take them out completely. And eArena, this was an amazing sort of entry here that was allowed them to take out QConfirm, which unfortunately left them quite out of the final circle fight here, only to get cut down eventually once Daytrade actually finds them, you know, as they try to maneuver into this next circle. And it was just unfortunate positioning there because Daytrade was already in position on his rocket, and it just so happened that the next phase just really favored them in this round.
And overall, I mean, you see eArena, they had a pretty good start, you know, the early to mid game, but they were just caught out in the open by Daytrade of all teams. So very unfortunate circumstances for eArena. Aside from that, towards the end, you know, it's just Daytrade really trying to greed out and hold the entire hill, and you know, NGE was able to find a kind of chink in the armor and open it up for the rest of the team to come right in. But either way, if you know, for Daytrade, they know that it's not an easy task. Even in game number 1, they had to survive. They survived longer than they, you know, were expected to. So, you know, shouldn't beat themselves too bad about it. You know, they're still doing pretty fine.
Yeah, so that is the end of the highlights here for match number 2 here. We're going to be waiting for the results to be tabulated here before we have a fuller picture of where this team stands after match number 2. But that's all the Miramar rounds done. I mean, are you happy?
I'm excited now, right? We got Tego next.
Yeah.
That's the 3rd match. That's the most exciting part. First time that Tego is play in an official PUBG tournament, and I'm glad that, you know, the Asia Super Cup is going to be that platform. We're going to see where these teams stand. Again, right, we talk about the Tego Challenge. Some of these teams have demonstrated pretty good result, you know, made in Thailand. You have Daytrade, you have Cerberus, you have eArena, even NGE. But can they translate that into this group stage?
That's the thing. That's going to be the big question in everyone's mind when they meet for the first time here in this PUBG Asia Super Cup. But as we continue to tabulate the results here, with Cerberus having like another like double-digit kill round here. I mean, I think we're going to be seeing these teams sort of like see where they're going to lie when it comes to like the teams that get a chicken dinner versus how many kills they get. I think it's going to be a kind of a race to see who's going to be able to hoard the majority of those kind of kill points, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty monstrous round, honestly, for some of these teams. I think even for number one, right? Match one they didn't do. They were not kind of like in the final circle, but in this game they made it further and they got more kills, so it does keep them in the running for top 8.
Indeed, and with the other teams though, like at the very least, at least they were able to recover some kill points. Flash finding himself yet again being the last man standing for Daytrade. But I think it might also be a consequence of his role because it seems like he's kind of like the designated marksman of the group. He seems to be very good at taking those long range engagements, and actually like, his shot against Fab towards the end there was what actually opened the door for Cerberus to just completely overrun the rest of NGE.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think just the survival instincts, right? And Daytrade have caused so many problems for a lot of teams, But contrary to match number one, this one is a bit more. I would say there's a bit more flow to it. You're not seeing the 10 teams fighting at once. It's definitely a faster paced match number two. The circle is also a lot more challenging because you have this endpoint on top of the hill.
Exactly, and these maps being big anyway, I expect like the same kind of pattern will continue on even when we get to Tego because that is yet another 8x8 kilometer map. Though, like one of the most interesting features about that is that as far as the design of the landscape goes, it does combine some of the best elements out of like both Miramar as well as Erangel together. So you got kind of like the dunes, like how it is in Miramar here, in one side of Tego, and then on the other side you got more hills and more open ground, just like in Erangel. So I'm excited to see like how teams will adapt to that specific kind of thing because it means that there's a little bit of something for everyone there in that map.
Yeah, and then I think on top of that is also how you all, and I think the circle also plays a huge role, right? Like what environment are you going to be fighting in, and that itself would kind of demand these teams to be a lot more adaptive to these environments. What happens if you end up in an environment that kind of resembles what we saw from Bermuda, right? It's completely different if the circle decides to go to a more open ground with lesser dunes. In this case, I think it's a perfect map to see where these teams stand in terms of like the experience, in terms of the decision making in these games.
Indeed. So we're still awaiting the results to be tabulated here. Apologies, and again, thank you all for your patience waiting for this. But with this match number 2 already finished here, that means we're already finished all the rounds that we're going to do on Miramar. Then later on we'll be having the Tego round, and after that we're going to be doing 2 rounds on Erangel as well. So I think for the teams especially, this is a perfect, this first day is going to be a perfect test bed for the teams in groups A and B to really get a feel for how this new rule set has affected the pacing. But I feel like in general, like there's a lot less things I think for the teams to kind of keep in mind because for one, the spawn of the circles are going to be a lot more consistent now. The timings, especially the timings, has traditionally been different for both Miramar and Erangel. Now both of them will be running exactly the same amount of time for all of the phases. So I think as far as the teams are concerned, they can focus a lot more on getting objectives, rather than actually trying to fight for survival.
Yeah, and even when you look at the history of competitive PUBG, right, across the years, at the start we always play, one map each round, Erangel, Miramar, and then we are just changing maps every single round. But ever since Challenger Rumble, we're seeing like 2 maps of Miramar, 3 maps of Erangel, or vice versa. I think it gives these teams a lot more chances to focus on just a single map and kind of make adjustments as they go instead of having to worry about a different map and then another different map.
Less of a toss-up. I mean, again, I think the biggest theme about this current era of PUBG is like the variables are starting to get tightened up now.
Oh, yes.
The skill level is still just as high as it's ever been before, but then now the challenge is going to be less about, dealing with the situation as it comes, but now you're going to, as a team, I think like there's a lot more preparation you could do on your end to make sure you get those deals. And again, with the back-to-back rounds, to your point, that will allow them, even if they fail with the game plan in the first round, they can always try to do it again in the second round and hopefully execute it better.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of the example we saw on the second round of Miramar, right? The consistent teams are still consistent, but there are some teams that were able to get a lot more points, have a better finish towards the very end. And I think this moving forward is going to be healthy for the competitive environment. And when we say we constrict the variables, it actually makes it a lot more complex, right? Because when you're working with what you have, that means that kind of skill expression gets higher. There's a higher skill ceiling to distinguish between a good and a great team. And so far, this Group A, Group B fight, I think, has not disappointed. I came in here thinking that Group B is going to be the more the more stacked teams. I more stacked group. I still think it's more stacked, but for Group A, I think the Expendables and to a certain extent, Enter Force 36 showing up just a little bit makes it a lot more interesting.
Indeed, and we also really want to see those teams as well also thrive in this situation here, because with the Continental Series already all combined into this global series now, there's these guys now represent quite literally the hopes of an entire region on their backs here. I mean, Force 36 as well as SunSister are the only two teams from Japan coming in this. Two of three teams who are competing in this competition here, and they certainly have earned their way coming into this field here. And then you also have teams like ExoClan, for example, from the very competitive region of Australia. They're the only ones who managed to win the Challenge Rumble, and that's why they actually got their place here. So the entirety of Oceania, I expect, is literally cheering them on, as they attempt to try to make their own. Unfortunately, these couple of rounds here seem to have not turned out well for the Australian squad.
Yeah, they definitely need a lot more than just those cheers of support, right? Because both rounds, it has been very brutal for ExoClan. I mean, you look back at round 2, these guys didn't catch a break, right? They were trying to make these long rotations, but they were constantly getting shot. They were constantly getting picked off. It's just very unlucky for ExoClan, and they had no real answers to deal with all the other teams on Miramar. So hopefully we go to Tego, ExoClan will be able to bounce back, because I think they are running out of time already.
Yeah, I think like the plan from ExoClan, given like that they jumped out very early into the fight, they mostly hung around the northern side and had to eventually make their way to the circle from quite a long distance. So I think they were banking on the fact that they would be able to use the vehicles in Miramar to be able to cut the distance down. But I think specifically for that second match there, it seemed like at one point they had a crossroad, basically. Either try to take the fight against two members of the Expendables, or try to fight against number 1, who was already holed up inside the building, and there was a full squad. And they chose to go into number 1. And I think that was kind of the bad choice with them, because number 1 was the one who eventually wiped them out completely. So I think these kind of minute-by-minute decisions are, in fact, like what sort of is really hard, to be fair, for ExoClan, but unfortunately, they kind of chose wrong.
Oh yeah, and that's what makes it, I think, if you are ExoClan, you're definitely feeling the pressure already, right? You have 3 more rounds today, no more Miramar, and they have to play tomorrow as well against Group C, who are basically watching these tournaments today very closely. So I think if you're ExoClan, it's not only kind of the reputation of OCN on the line, but you really gotta try to make those adjustments. I think that when you look at the players in these gunfights, I'm confident they can win, but it's just these rotations, they're getting caught out way too often, and I don't think it's completely on them as well, right? It's just unfortunate that they were put in those positions. I just hope that moving into Tego and for the rest of the group stage, ExoClan can make a recovery, and we will give them some time to make a recovery, because we also would go for a break. So we will be back in just a while for more PUBG action. This time we're going to head over to Tego, so don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in.
I think it may be a bit early.
First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast pace and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store, and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth it. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. fast-paced and full-intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store, and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on ArkAngel, Miramar, and Jester. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace 32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the PUBG Asia Super Cup for summer of 2023. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Husky. We have just witnessed 2 rounds on Miramar, so you know what that means.
It means we are going to round 3. It means we are going to see Tego for the first time in a competitive circuit. Very, very excited. You know, we've gone through some of the teams who have been pretty consistent. You know, Daytrade, CERBERUS, eArena, been doing well. The Expendables, and even number 1 kind of showing up big time towards the very end. Well, now before we go into Tego, we also have to kind of catch up on something after match 2, right? We have the standings that's going to be shown in a little bit, and I'm curious to see where these teams are at right now on the leaderboard, because top 8 is where they want to be at.
Yeah, exactly. So while they're setting up for Tego, we weren't able to bring you guys the live results early on just before the break. So hopefully we'll be able to give you guys a good picture of where these teams now stand overall. But I have to safe to say though, like I'm expecting big things from the team that got chicken dinner, CERBERUS. You know, they got plenty of kills there, and they got the chicken dinner as well. But Daytrade manages to hang on until like the very end there. The same they did as well for match number 1. The same thing also kind of happened for them in match number 2, although this time around the battlefield sort of sort of encompass them a lot more because literally everyone's just rushing to try to take on their hill. So indeed, yes, Cerberus is the one who's going to take the bulk of the points here from match number 2. A total of 24 from 10 placement points as well as 14 kill points, the most we've seen so far.
And also another solid round from Daytrade, right? 16 points, finishing second. NGE and TE both getting 11, number 1, and having a big round, getting 10 points. And AAA, towards the end, I thought that they had a better round, but that's in terms of placement, 4 placement points, but 0 kill points. It's a very, very slow round for AAA. eArena also only managing to get 3 for themselves. So it's fair to say, I mean, for TE, for Daytrade, for Cerberus, at least for TE and Daytrade, they are having a very, very good time so far in this group stage.
Yeah, and with the Expendables actually being able to get a lot of kills in this round here, relatively speaking, I think that's bodes quite well for their chances in the overall leaderboard later on. Special shout out as well to eArena as well as QConfirm, even though they weren't able to maximize the most out of the encounters they managed to get, but nevertheless they managed to do enough to allow them a place on the first page here in 7th and 8th respectively, and number 1 being able to get themselves up in the 5th place. It's becoming a very heavily Vietnamese affair here, I have to say, so far in groups A and B.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the consistency is definitely there. Now, the current standings, by the end of match number 2, TE at the very top, right, 32 points, followed by Cerberus, 27, Daytrade in 3rd with 25, eArena with 19, NGE and Attack All Around, tied in 12th, with 12 points. Number 1 squeezing through just off of one good round, putting themselves in 7th place with the 11 point. UV and QC tied, with 9 points, but obviously UV just had more placement points, and it's kind of the deal breaker, at least for now. But we still have 3 more rounds to go before day 1 ends. But looking at the current standings, you can clearly see that we have some front runners.
Oh, indeed. I mean, the 2 teams from Vietnam actually are the front runners right now, with CES only being 5 points away from TE and 2 points clear of Daytrade so far, to be fair, but Daytrade certainly has a much wider gap to their nearest rival from the same region, which is eArena. 6 points total that they're going to be ahead of eArena in that regard. So it's looking like this is how it's going to be shaping up here for the top 8 here. As for the ones who just barely got in, I mean, Q confirmed if only they were able to place themselves a little bit higher, perhaps they'll be able to overcome Unicorn Venom's position here in 8th place, but sadly, even though they got quite a healthy haul of kills, they're not quite able to get themselves into the top 8 yet. One call as well, even though they were involved in quite a few scraps, so only able to get 5 kill points actually so far. So that's hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more from them coming in these next few rounds here, but they seem to have a good shot right now, keeping themselves in pace with the top 8 in day 1 so far.
Well, yeah. And of course, for those who are confused on why some of these teams have 0 points, they have not played a single game yet, right? The bottom 8 teams, all with 0 points, are in Group C. We will see them tomorrow and on day 3. But for now, there is definitely a bit of a concern, I think, if you are looking at teams like Exo Clan, who only got basically 2 points across 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
And that is super worrying. I mean, for Redsea as well, only 1, E36 only 1. So I think moving into the rest of the day, you gotta be able to kind of rack out a lot more points. This point system is also pretty brutal because you're not rewarded if you're not performing. Look at how the placement point is distributed. That itself is a very telling sign of how high the stakes are.
Indeed, it is. If you finish, a little too low, you're just not going to get any points for placement at all. So the only points you're going to be able to bank on are the points you get from kills itself. And in that regard, the teams that are not able to place, not able to convert into a lot of kills either. So that's kind of tough luck for them. Now we're going to be taking on to the Korean landscape of Taego here, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting days here for the Asian PUBG scene, as we now have a flight path going from west to east here, cutting over the Hosan prison area, which AAA actually is setting themselves up close to that coast here. Well, for the rest of the teams though, we got Daytrade taking the position right at that crossroad, which was pretty much where they got the 2 chicken dinners during the Taego challenge. So it seems like they're going to be running more or less the same kind of game plan on this map.
Yeah, if it's not broken, there's no need to fix it. So let's see if third time is going to continue to be a charm. They go on the map kind of inspired by kind of South Korea as a nation,
Yep.
right? So it's very, very interesting to see how these buildings are designed, how the landscape is. We really see at least, I think, 2 teams, SST and Daytrade, basically dropping at around the same area. And if you are in the SunSister, this is very crucial. It's very crucial that you don't start losing members early on, right? Because their position not looking too good, but Daytrade, they will take any points to solidify their spot in the top 8.
Now, Hosan itself is a huge urban sprawl, so there's plenty of nooks and crannies that both SST and Daytrade could continue to farm even without encountering each other. I would expect they would know that they're being hot dropped on either end, so they're definitely keeping an eye out. And you especially see Belmov taking onto the rooftop here, actually spotting a couple of members of SST on the opposite side of the street. So in the meantime, the rest of his team will be able to continue their farm here, already picking up some good weapons and health kits, I expect, out of that exchange. But for now, SST is also being very wary about where they're going to try to place themselves, because knowing that Daytrade is a very formidable team to try to fight up against, and SunSister having borne the brunt of a lot of bad attacks on the last couple of rounds here, certainly going to be looking to try to get a good start here on this new map.
Yeah, this can be very overwhelming, right? All these urban areas, it kind of feels like you're in a zombie apocalypse, honestly. With, just kind of the architecture, but for QConfirm, Zapalui, he's going to see a couple early shots from E36, both sharing the same compound. Also, a smaller town for sure compared to Hosan, but still you have a lot of buildings to kind of work around. And I think for teams who are not as familiar with Dago, you are more inclined to take it slowly with E36. In fact, holding these shot plots, and it does give Deva kind of a bird's eye view.
So this is on Yongcheon. So the thing is that there are 2 bridges on either side of this city here, which actually makes a good path to peel out should the circle actually end up going a lot more southwards here. But for now, I think both of those teams will continue to try to hold their own here, at least until they know where the circle is. And look at that, it actually lands on top of them, so they don't really have to move too much. It might spell a bit of bad news though for those who hold themselves up in the south side. Oh, NBK almost getting caught out there. That one shot almost knocked him down, not enough to take him out completely. A grenade actually misses completely, bouncing off the fence, and now NBK picks up a lorry, a Hyundai lorry of all things, to try to peel away from this position, and looks like he might be able to get away scot-free. 1% of health.
Hey man, product of South Korea. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. The subtlety of design. But NBK almost got shot out of the sky. The fact that he was able to rendezvous with his team and took no fall damage, thankfully he's just a second fall drop, but that is a absolute miracle for Unicorn Venom. Gotta be saying his prayers right now.
Yeah, natural born killer he is. Now picking up the med kit, should be able to get himself up to speed, but wow, that was certainly a heart-stopping moment if I've ever seen one here for Unicorn Venom. But nevertheless, they still live on to fight another round here. Phase 1 should be ending in about a minute's time here. Let's see what the Deadly Strike is going to be up to right now. They seem to be all alone on this one village here. I think that's just to the north of where UV is as well. So they're going to be able to rest quite easily in the laurels. They're spotting a cargo plane cutting across there, so are they going to be thinking about trying to pick up those high value loot that will be dropped out from the crates there? I wonder.
It's quite a distance away. Number 1, spotting a rotation from Cerberus. See the Dumai's car, and Taikon also passes by afterwards. I wonder where Cerberus is going to head towards though. It's pretty much an open field. You have all these farmlands, and unfortunately they're surrounded by TE also, and number 1. So Cerberus is not in the best position. Be a dicey. Wood. Not a compound yet. Really getting shot as well. Taikon sprayed down by Tanvu and Cerberus. I feel like they gotta take this fight. You gotta somehow stem the bleeding, because this entire area is occupied by the Expendables. Tanvu finding the second spray down to Himas. Aizaki finally stops his rampage. But Himas, he is absolutely bleeding out of his mind.
Oh, out the window.
Getting absolutely drove by TE.
And so
Aizaki, last man standing, needs to salvage this round for his team, but just not not gonna do it. Number 1 cleans up the remnants of Cerberus. Absolute disaster.
Well, he's going to get taken down anyway as Delwyn spots him out from the window, so he's not going to be able to get away scot-free out of that, but at least managed to steal 1 kill out of the few here. But oh my goodness, TE right now having the kill lead at the moment with 3 in hand is now going to be engaged in the second battle. Looks like as number 1 will be moving in to try to rescue Lambao, but then I think the grenades might be enough to finish him off. In fact, Mr. Flank from Redsea finds him from a distance and snipes him down and takes the kill away from TE.
It's a very crowded area so far. Number 1, after losing 2 members, they're gonna just scurry away. They stole 1 kill, but they end up losing 2, so not the best trade for number 1. Have to try and recuperate. Not much resources left, right? You look at the utilities, only 3 frag grenades for goal. Definitely not in the best situation. 1 call on the other hand. Actually, Seymour did have Exo Clan kind of in his sight. Chimpy just driving by as Exo Clan split out into basically 4 individual escorts. And Chimpy kind of in the front line, even getting shot at as well, I believe, from 1 call.
Chimpy normally plays that kind of role where he comes out to scout. We also see like Baba Goose doing the same as well for his team, but right now being spread out means you're going to be able to cover a lot of ground as far as looting is concerned, and I think they're going to be looking to try to get some good throwables and weaponry to use here should they come into the next encounter. Redsea Esports in the meantime, with Mr. Flank already picking out that 1 kill, are certainly on a roll right now, taking over this position here, hoping to try to get some good loot. Attack all around actually takes control of his house. Has actually been freshly looted by number 1, so I don't know if there's going to be much for them to pick up here, although it doesn't seem like they're hurting too much when it comes to supplies.
Yeah, just fighting for scraps, right? Attack all around, not getting too much out of this, unfortunately. Having to continue traveling, but they did have 2 different squads, so you get to cover more ground in this game. 8x8, pretty huge, a lot of land to walk around. In fact, I think the peek out the window, kind of getting an inkling of where an enemy team might be, and that's number 1 across the river, I believe, across the road.
So now with them trying to see if they can find a way across. Okay, this is a little bit of a lake. It's not quite a river, so there actually is a way for them to go around, but it's going to be a long way around nevertheless. But attack around might actually want to try to stay in their position here because it still represents a good piece of cover. In the meantime, down by the terminal here, looks like QConfirm is pretty much has this entire area on lockdown here, and they're going to be having so much good loot here. My goodness, there's terminal is definitely one of the best places to get loot, I think, on Tego itself. So they've just wandered themselves into a kingdom's hold, I feel.
Supermarket for them. QC on the other hand, members of Exo Clan against 1 call. Seems like things are getting serious. Exo Clan finally making it into the small town, but you have Trick who is kind of holding this pixel angle out in the corner. Chimpy once more kind of receiving the brunt of all this punishment, but there's a stalemate. It's going to continue for a while. Chimpy still has this vehicle to work with, but I wonder what the rotation is going to be though. Trick is just around the corner.
Yeah, it's going to go down by the field here. Actually slips by Trick, who isn't quite in a position to fight against him. So I think they're trying to lure some shots out to hopefully be able to spot. But Chimpy, in the meantime, is going to be putting himself in harm's way pretty soon, though, if he is not too careful. But nevertheless, he puts himself by the radio tower, and that's going to put a bit of distance between himself and Trick for sure. And he's going to be able to spot anyone coming up the road. In fact, he's going to be able to see that village that Deadly Strike is actually holding at the moment. So should they decide to come around to Exo's side, Chimpy will be able to alert them first.
Well, for Redsea so far, it's the first round. What they've been struggling is the mid-game rotation, right? They've been kind of caught out losing these 4-on-4 gunfights, but they were able to steal a kill away early on. So I believe Redsea is also not in the best position. I think they are kind of like at the bottom of the leaderboard in terms of between Group A and Group B. But this time, I'm going to slow that just a little bit. 1 Trick, getting that what a spray down from Trick. Yeah. Absolutely devastating. And this is not a drive-by, but this is a drive-by on a drive-by. Trick is going to be able to secure this no problem. I don't think Exo Clan would want to turn back for. Well, I take that back. Chimpy up the far punishes Trick for that greediness. Jexy still gets rid of Empt, but now he has to try to get to Trick, who is pretty far away.
Well, I mean, talk about using your own teammate as bait, right? But Emma's already down anyway and probably will be killed either way, but at least there might be a chance here at Chimpy to get a trade against one call here, but Simoy is going to be coming in to try to rescue his teammate though, so I think Chimpy is going to have to be really quick about this. He's going to come around. Will he be able to spot Trick to the woods? Oh, but then Simoy is already in position though. He's already waiting for Chimpy to show himself there, but just peeks out a little bit there.
Timing?
Waiting for the timing there to try to catch Chimpy, but Chimpy a little bit skittish right now, trying to get on the outside. Of patience is not going to be enough though. Chimpy only cut down to half his health before I realized he's being fired upon and by Simoy. Now he's going to realize that he's being hunted now. Will he try to fight back?
I mean, Trick is basically using the brushes to keep himself safe by the vegetation, helping him out. But Trick does end up bleeding out as his teammate wasn't able to get to him in time. But they might get Chimpy in return. And look at Exo. They're going to try and help. Jexy finds gas from afar. And Simoy taking a lot of space as well. The flashback's going to come through, forcing Simoy to Chimpy to look away. But actually still ends up getting the straight back. Exo Clan finally showing some signs of resistance. But Jexy gets a nasty headshot. And unfortunately, it's down to just one last member, Baba Goose from Exo Clan. Kind of a 1 versus 2 situation. If he can get back up, that would be great. But Jexy, oh boy, this is the vehicle that Chimpy left behind. One call, it's going to take it and get out of there.
Absolutely devastating Jexy was in that engagement. I mean, he held off both Baba Goose as well as Gats, and that allowed them to finally get the kill done onto Chimpy there. But it's still 2 for 2 nevertheless though, so it's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory if it were for one call at the moment, and Exo Clan can easily try to pull out there with Baba Goose already getting revived onto Gats. So QConfirm in the meantime though, finding themselves a little bit lonely in this terminal side. It's still within a circle technically, but they also see PMA over the horizon at the moment, so they're feeling not too secure in the position right now. Might be thinking go for a wraparound.
Attack around also spotted a team passing by. I believe that's number 1. They tagged it just a little bit, but unfortunately the terrain makes things a bit hard. Daytrade on the other end. See, across that entire river. Attack all around is basically out in the open. So far, it's a small building, not much for them to go on. You know, Redsea within the crosshairs of E36. Okay, he's just being very actively spotting other members of Redsea.
Yeah, I mean, EF36 has so far, they're not lacking in shooting skill. I think it's just a matter of luck and tactics that kind of failed them in the last 2 rounds. But nevertheless, against Redsea, this should be an interesting fight between them because Redsea technically is going to be able to gatekeep them somewhat. Though QConfirm is also drawing a bit of fire here from E36 conversely. Now this next Daytrade now just only entered into the circle here, but they're being flanked by UV, who has already spotted them, and Snell already is trying to put some shots onto them as they ride on with their vehicles into the circle here. In the meantime, though, looks like they were able to stay out of trouble for the most part, but might be wandering into some chaos soon because I also see the Expendables being in their path.
UV's to start fighting though. Daytrade driving right into them. They're all split up into individual checkpoints, so Daytrade, they can start overwhelming UV with numbers if they want to. This is definitely bad news if it actually happens, but of course for UV, they're still going to be able to stick together for now. It's the Expendables who are in danger, where Daytrade still cut off that midway point. The fact that Daytrade were able to drive in without much resistance just gives them a lot of room to work with. Meanwhile, off screen, Sylvia actually finds Gas, an Exo Clan. Oh boy, they're down to just one man. It's Baba Goose. Baba Goose on the run.
Yeah, and on the run indeed. There's no way he's going to be able to come back to save his teammate here without exposing himself to Sylvia here. Even though he does have an SLR, one shot is still all it takes to knock down Baba Goose. One shot to hit it especially. Now there's some loot crates actually being dropped to the western side of where E36's position is. The southern side where they are, but they had to try to run through Deadly Strike in order to be able to get to it. So now they're already starting to put some fire onto them. But Crazy Boy, in fact, might be actually moving up here to try to cut off Darva before he gets into position there. A spray is going to be able to knock him down. Sylvia not able to return fire in time though. Grenade's going to be sent through, but that only puts Crazy Boy down a little bit. The grenade shot should be able to bring him back up to speed. In the meantime, Mao Rush is able to get the kill confirmed onto that member of E36 now, so that's already 1 down for the Japanese squad.
The nade doesn't even take him out, right? So DST, they got 3 kills for free. And Exoclan actually got wiped out off screen as well. Lucky circumstance to be in as that's dangerous driving if I ever seen one. But Sylphia on the run, not full health either. I believe on a motorbike. Actually, Bullfish doesn't see him, so Sylphia will get to live on for a bit longer. But NGE facing some sort of pressure from eArena from that high ground.
Yeah, and NGE at the moment is already picking up 2 kills. Sylphia has finally been taken out here by QC, so that's a kill literally confirmed there, and E36 kind of out for the count. But NGE in the meantime, not under a lot of intense pressure, but they are flanked by both eArena as well as one call, so they're not exactly going to be able to move out of the way, but they just might be able to gatekeep eArena a little bit in this next round here. Certainly for those who are in the terminal, which is QConfirm and PMA, they're going to be locked in a bit of a fight here, but Deadly Strike, gotta say, luckiest guys in the group, because not only is the circle landing on top of them, they got some good loot drop from the cargo plane just moments ago that they will definitely be able to use.
And you can say the same for Redsea, right? They also are in a pretty decent spot as well. The TE and Daytrade taking control beside each other. I think that southeastern side is going to be a bit more intense with your 3 teams, the UV, Daytrade, the T around as well. Attack all around. Meanwhile, was able to get initial knock on the impact and attack all around, now facing some resistance as Unicorn Venom decides to join in. A 3-way fight.
Yeah, and a 3-way fight indeed it is, because you got UV on this western side, you got on the other number 1 as well, taking some shots from SunSister, but it looks like SunSister is a bit hurting as well, because they're also taking fire from attack all around. Jedi getting the kill with the Mini 14, so it's making it hard for SunSister to hold their own, because they don't really have a lot of cover to work with to begin with, because now they're stuck in the middle of this paddy field here, and they're not going to be able to fight back too hard. Stop now, going for the shot against Miao Yu, almost takes him out before he gets to the rock, but unfortunately his teammate Jigao is going to be taken down, and Tay9 actually finishes him off as well, so that's number 1 already taken out for the count.
And NGE, they had 1 skill stolen away, but is still able to rack up 3 so far. It's gatekeeping at the edge of the circle, but I don't think there's much more teams from that eastern side, so you can expect NGE to not face too much resistance. They can start moving in, but if they do, it's gonna push them straight into TE. eArena in the time some sort of a pushback as they try to enter the circle. PMA losing 2 members and instantly gets absolutely obliterated by QC.
Yep, QC very much the kings of the terminal right now, so they will be able to hold their own while they wait for the Blues to come in, unless eArena has some other ideas, because they're starting to push on into the position a little bit, just encroaching into their backyard, no big deal. But QConfirm nevertheless still has a lot of cover to work with, and they still have their vehicle, so they're already starting to pile in and start to make the rotation out from the terminal and into the center of the circle. Just have to cut right through where eArena is, so they're hoping to not draw too much fire, but eArena does still have a lot of good weapons in hand, especially Zizzy with his SLR has already drawn, has not quite drawn blood yet, but certainly looking to try to add 1 to his the tally here for the team. He's already seen Jexy inside the shed, so he's actually keeping him completely suppressed, while Hakai watches as SunSisters actually peel away into the horizon in their little Hyundai, unless he has the last word here with that spray, but it doesn't seem to be doing too much there. Does a bit of damage, but a shot by Jedi actually finishes him off and actually helps attack all around take those kills away here from NGE.
Yeah, SunSister basically pincered by 2 massive teams, and the circle now absolutely favors Redsea, who are still chilling in that complex, right? There's nothing that, there's no worry, nothing for them to worry about. Maybe DST, who will be driving in from the eastern side. eArena actually City getting knocked down onto the ground, and look, Jexy doing massive work. QC also putting a lot of pressure onto eArena. They want to try to help their teammate, but I'm not sure if they can make it there in time. City ends up getting taken down by Duck Juice. Unfortunately, eArena not able to extract that father member. QC now plants themselves, sees eArena in front of them. A lot of smoke grenades being thrown out. You can see the amount of supplies drop down as well from afar, and they're in NGE's vicinity. And unfortunately for Larry, in an attempt to save his buddy, he is now caught out in the open.
Yeah, and he's going to be forced to go prone there with the scope continuing to rain down bullets onto him. There's no way he's going to be moved out of the way. He pops up a smoke though, so that should be able to give him a little bit of cover for now and a little bit of reprieve as he attempts to get his vehicle back up online. But QC really is trying to aim to the other 2 members on the left-hand side there, but it wasn't able to get the engagement done quite yet. Perhaps it may be able to do it now. Daytrade in the meantime under fire right now. Grenades being sent in their general direction, and the shots coming from attack all around as well. So AAA ace, now putting the pressure onto the Thai squad here, making rather the Thai top seed at the moment, and actually he's doing quite a number on the depth. J-Dai with a grenade, and Jackal with another frag grenade. They're just grenades for days right now, raining onto Daytrade, and doesn't seem like they'll be able to hold it. Oh, there's already one down. Noise is already quite low, might be in danger of being taken out by a shot here from attack all around. No, the grenade will be the one to finish him up instead, and with the flames being thrown up, Day now Flash, he's looking like one of two members of Daytrade still standing right now, which does have a little bit of high ground, but it isn't able to attack back onto attack all around, who so far has only sustained one casualty.
Yeah, Escalus here is doing so much work with this SLR, just really suppressing Daytrade, who are trying to complete chaos, and but AAA they are gonna start taking the blue zone. They gotta start moving as Flash is gonna get down by a nade also. Just Puju's left alive, and this is getting from bad to worse. AAA are pushing in as Galusia does get down. TE gonna intercept this. They might steal everything away. AAA left with 2. Jedi is gonna try and get his teammate back up with also topping his health with that first aid kit. But again, the blue zone is closing in. Those nades raining through. NG off screen getting kills, but TE is the biggest threat. That big nade! Janku, he has to start crawling forward, but he's gonna get finished off by Duck Juice. Delwyn perishes to the blue. The Expendables ends up getting wiped out. AAA continues to live on, but not for long. Yubi ends up being the biggest winner of that, getting the last lap and getting the elimination.
Oh, that was crazy though. I think the Expendables were actually doing quite well, getting some good kills on the front, but unfortunately Duck Juice was the last one standing, and he himself got caught out in that firefight there. So that's so unfortunate for the team is to get taken out in 9th place, right? And as NGE continues trying to move on onto Team 16 there, I think Jexy is not going to be long for this world here. He's going to get surrounded on all ends. Quick shot there, but Hakai will be able to finish his run there as NGE takes one call out in 6th place.
Yeah, NGE, right? They have 2 members down, but they can both be picked back up. So NGE still loses nothing. And look at that, it's a bit of respite unless QC gets to them in time. But QC, they're still a distance away. He can actually just destroy Crazy Boy with that frag nade. DST under heavy pressure from UV, who are basically uncontested right now. In fact, look at NBK. NBK +1 right in the face of DST. NBK pushing forward still, getting both fish down. Lucky J needs to hold it forward. Mount Rush gets in the vehicle, but it's getting absolutely pelted by lead. Driving through the smoke screen, trying to get away, but he's going to drive straight into danger as well. There's a truck beside him that's trying to just survive. Lucky J is by his side. Mount Rush getting shot down by some power foam on top of the hill. Absolute madness as Marash also caught by Papa Zai from Redsea.
Unicorn Venom is certainly the most poisonous team right now because they're absolutely killing everyone else who happen to cross their path. So now I think Redsea Esports trying to get themselves in the base. They find Lucky J trying to bring his truck across, but isn't able to confirm the kill quite yet, though, but does bring him down to a sliver of his health. But Redsea in the meantime has been very much quiet all this while. The circles have just certainly been landing on top of them for the last few phases, but now with the teams now crowding around them, this is going to be the opportunity for them to try to pick up some kills, if only they could just land the shots.
God, this is a big chance, and Papa Zai here is relentless. He's running out of ammunition though. Not much left in the SKS.
Oh.
Lucky J just lost his truck, but Papa Zai did not see him, and these spans, they are going to get more and more costly as he runs dry of that ammunition. NGE, 4 men still alive, holding the entire southern side of the circle. QC is, I think Hakai didn't see the members of QC. Look at them pretty much spread out as well.
Yeah, the shield going to be set up here by Hakai, so that actually provides him some really good cover there instead of having to spend some grenades. A grenade would be pretty good here for Van if he can actually send it across and behind the rock, but unfortunately that piece of cover is going to be enough to bait any shots coming out from his sniper rifle. And speaking of snipers there, the Mini 14 and Dan Pablo is still trying to search for some targets here, but finding none as you pop out. Yubi in the meantime already picking up some kills on both QConfirm as well as NGE. Batman is already down and Smell as well, going to get traded out. In the meantime, Yubi really trying to collapse upon the rest of NGE right now, but they only sustained 1 casualty so far. JK is going to keep an eye out for the rest of NGE. There's still only 1 member to go here, I think. as Hakai still on the ground here. The Van is going to get finished up a little bit. They can't quite flush out the last member, I think, which is Sakao and Jaken. Circle landing on top of Redsea. Wow, this is such a huge opportunity here for the Malaysia squad.
It's one of the few rounds, and if you don't get the chicken dinner, there's maybe something has gone horribly wrong. Redsea absolutely elated with this circle where everyone out there is slaughtering each other. Redsea gets to hold this compound. And even get to voucher any members to try to kind of run into them, right? Because they are the only team that has any sort of structures to use as a cover. Look at this bird's eye view. It is an absolute war zone out there. NGE, you'll have with just one man. The blue zone is going to be kind of the X factor right now. Everyone will get funneled into the crosshairs of Redsea.
Yeah, Fab is in probably like the hardest spot right now. He does have plenty of cover though, so he doesn't really need to expose himself to much risk, but at the moment he is not going to be able to rotate anywhere. He's not going to be able to back up his team too much because they're on the hill on the other side. Well, Papa Zayed is now still keeping an eye on Lucky J. Finally, he finds him by the corpse of the lorry that Lucky J was running earlier on, but now Lucky J, having got his health back up, he's going to get cut down immediately by Zayed. He's now playing the peek around the carcass there to try to see if we can catch out Zayed, but Zayed in the meantime just keeping the shots peppered, and that's going to leave Lucky J out in the blue zone, and no, he's not going to make it out.
And with that being said, look at QC, they're just driving by and Papa Zayed feels the pressure. Oh my god! Zapalui just completely mows him down. The nade Dan Pablo finds 2 in return. Still some sort of exchange for Redsea. There is a chance that they still keep this alive. Opon and Zapalui both on the ground. But Dan Pablo did get finished off. Redsea falling apart at the seams. Mr. Flank also down thanks to UV, and Redsea only left with one member alive. UV looking the strongest right now. QC needs to bring the rest of the team back.
I mean, again, PUBG, probably the best point-and-click horror survival game there, giving you jump scares as well.
That is literally from a movie scene, right? You know,
I know, right?
The new Fast 10 just came out, and that's a scene that would be in Fast 10 if I ever seen one.
Oh man, Unicorn Venom though, they still have a lot of stacks here to work with, but so does QC. But then now they have Redsea completely surrounded on all ends here, and Redsea down to the last member. Dean is the only person left to hold the flag here for Malaysia, and it doesn't seem like he is in the best of situations right now. Fab is going to be keeping an eye out from the outside as well, but he's very much out, very far away from the rest of the squad. Probably trying to stay away from most of the actions happening. QConfirm in the meantime, Protect already finding a hit there on the MBK, forcing him to get off of the roof. Sapao is going to be flushed out a little bit by the frag grenades, and indeed will get taken out by Pedret.
And QC, the biggest winners right now. The full team got brought back out despite a double nade by Dan Pablo. All that work negated, and Dean just cowering in the building right now. Still don't know where he is, but Dean, if he makes any noise, they're gonna try to flush him out. In fact, I feel like they do. They start clearing out the building, and look at Dean backing away from that window. Nowhere is safe, as the blue zone is gonna start closing in as well. That is gonna force QC to make his way into the building very fast, and they don't even need to do so. Leon just gets the work done. Dean goes down. QC now pushing towards UV. NBK
down.
Gets the nade drop onto him, completely blasted.
Yeah.
As UV themselves are left with just one, and Opon, he knows that they have done just enough, and QC looking for the chicken dinner.
Oh man, talk about a strong showing here. QConfirm with NGE's last member being taken out.